butt over.
Le silence est un luxe rare.
SJ, how you doing?
Hi. Hey there. I'm wonderful. I'm doing great. I'm fantastic.
Good. We are officially live.
Yay.
Le silence.
We are live everywhere. So say hi to Twitter. Say hi to YouTube.
Hi, Twitter. Hi, YouTube.
Tell
The
us,
artist formerly Twitter.
Yeah. Well, I'm St. Wolf. Please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about how you made your way to crypto and to HEX, Pulse Chain.
Oh. I am a wild SJ. SJ, not AJ. I know it gets confusing because the A is at the front and the J is at the end, but it's a whole, I'm a whole phrase. So, yes, I have been technically in crypto since 2017. However, I did not pay attention in 2017. I just bought myself a little tiny fraction of a Bitcoin. And then a good friend of mine who some of y'all have come to know and love or hate. Just kidding. He's wonderful. Crypto Kool-Aid. So I knew Crypto Kool-Aid just from living in Austin, going to drum and bass shows, this sweaty spinning man on the dance floor who at first I was not a fan because he was like in my space. I was like, I want to dance right there. And you're just this like tornado of crazy dancing and just please don't kick me. And basically over time we became really great friends in terms of, just enjoying the same kind of music, going out to shows. And unbeknownst to me, I had no clue he was even into this. He saw that I posted that I had bought a little bit of Bitcoin and he's like, hey, you should take what you put into Bitcoin and divvy it up amongst these other coins. And I didn't know, I knew nothing of it. And he said that he'd been in the space for a while. In fact, at the time he was doing ICO, kind of influencing and talking about it a lot more often, had his own channel, doing a little bit of Bitcoin. And he's like, hey, hold on. Is that me? Okay. So he basically, kind of gave me this idea to diversify. Well, I did that. And then I just, like I said, totally forgot about it, left it behind, moved to Puerto Rico, non-crypto related at all. I had no idea that there was even, it was like kind of a tax haven for crypto people there, and didn't touch it or look at it. What's that? Oh, that was 2017.
Okay.
Yeah. About 2016, 2017 is when I kind of just and I've always been into tech. I've always been kind of techie. I've always been kind of into gaming. I worked for Blizzard Entertainment in the past.
Okay.
And, I have this picture of me as like a 6-year-old with a Game Boy, just all stoked. So it's always been something that I've wanted to know more about or learn more about. And, finally dabbled a little bit. I probably made a ton and then lost it all.
So you were the fantasy girlfriend for a lot of boys because you were a gamer girl, huh?
I'm the fantasy girlfriend.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, for sure. In fact, I well, won't go into the whole story. Got married very early, very young. I was 20 years old the first time,
wow.
And that first husband, a good guy. I just figured I got married too young. Felt bad, broke his heart, but we were like the couple that games together stays together, which didn't end up being right. But he ended up being a video game artist. Okay. And I ended up doing support at Blizzard Entertainment and things like that. But we played cool. World of Warcraft hours and hours,
really?
Maybe days. Yeah, long time. So definitely, and in fact, we'll circle back to it. But ask me how I'm involved in gaming again nowadays in a minute. We'll circle back. Let me finish my little my crypto.
I'll remember. Yeah.
Okay. So, right, moved to Puerto Rico. That didn't work out, moved back. And then in 2021, early 2021, end of 2020, I had put my house on the market. I owned a home just north of Austin, Texas. And I'm such a traveler that I wasn't spending much time in it. I had roommates. It just became a hassle trying to keep up with it. And I decided to sell the house. I was also in student loan debt and, had been so for many years and was just like, man, I'm so tired of having this debt on my shoulders. So sold the house to pay off my student loan debt. And then at that time, I really became cognizant of and interested in being financially stable and knowing how to make my money work for me, because I've always been very frugal. I've always been very, I'm kind of like a little squirrel, right? Like I like to save up a bit and just make sure I've always got a cushion. And having debt was just like, it just like weighed so heavy on me. So got all that done. Read a few great books. Think and Grow Rich. You Are a Badass at Making Money. Svive. Well, actually, that came later. That came later, but that ended up being, just part of my financial journey. And I knew I was going to put a tiny bit of what I made from the house into crypto, right? Because I was already interested in it, knew it was still a thing. I was like, all right, let me look into this. Unbeknownst to him, so Crypto Kool-Aid again comes to save the day. He had no idea that I had sold my house. He comes to me and he says, hey, remember those little coins I told you to put your money in back in the day? He's like, I want you to take all of that and put it into HEX. And
Amazing.
He was very adamant that I learn what I was doing. Because part of me, even though I wanted to be financially free and stable, I was looking into a 401k, I was looking into a high yield savings account. I even looked into options trading.
Wow.
And, part of me wanted to just give him the funds and be like, can you just do this for me? Yeah. And the way he was just so much like, no, not your keys, not your coins, DYOR, like you have to know. And, I didn't know what any of that meant at the time, but he really instilled in me that, no, look, you're going to be the custodian of your wealth. And I thought, I'm already on that path. I already feel like I want to be aware of, my finances and how that works and being financially independent. So, you know what, Kool-Aid, you're right. I really do need to know about this. It's 6 months, mostly listening to Whales Only one, Whales Only and Crypto Coffee, probably just the two of them for a while. Mm-hmm. And that's where it started to click. And I was like, man, that little chunk that I want to put in a high yield savings account, or this little chunk that I want to put into options trading, it just makes more sense to put it into HEX. So over that 6-month period, I put, more and more of these little chunks into HEX instead of into other financial tools. And this is, of course, unbeknownst to me, or really most of us at the time, right? Like the 4-year cycle of crypto, I don't think that had really been discovered. And if it had, it was just kind of coming to that's a thing. Right. So none of us knew that, I was buying on the way to the top. Right. So part of me wishes, in hindsight, like I wish I would have saved part of that and been able to DCA more, as we went down and towards the bottom.
Yeah.
But either way, I knew, and this is why I call myself the positivity princess and why I've made the content that I've made over the last few years, is because this entire time I have known that it's a gamble. I was willing, this was not my rent money. This was not my food money. This was not money that I, absolutely was reliant upon. I thought, these are things that I'm willing to kind of risk and gamble. Now, some of it, would have gone into a 401k or a high yield savings account, right? But the possibility of the upside in crypto versus what those things would be doing sitting in an account, like I feel like even at like 80% down, I still feel like I'm up, because I'm staked, right? So I'm getting more of the coins every day. And as we see that rise and go up, and the fact that I got the copy, right? I had all that staked on Ethereum and now it's all on Pulse Chain. I have no regrets, like even at this point, even still, as I've DC'd a little bit more and put more money into things, I'm not stressed about it. Right. And that's what I love about HEX and about this community, is that it's not something that you have to sit there and look at charts all day long and worry about it or whatever. But that's it. So after the 6 months, learned all about HEX, got super into it. And then finally, I'm kind of backwards. A lot of people heard about Richard and then got into HEX. I had no idea who Richard was. So after the 6 months of listening to these guys, I was like, all right, so there's this founder dude. What's up with this guy? Why is he shaking his butt and like opening Louis Vuitton boxes? Why do I care? So I start looking into Richard Hart and find out that he's got the books, and I'm an avid audiobook listener. So I went to put on the only audiobook at the time that existed for sci-vive, and it was Anne Hex. Shout out to Anne Hex for doing this originally. They had taken the text of sci-vive and put it into like an Autobot reader. So it was there, but it was very just no emotion, right? You couldn't kind of tell where some of the periods and sentences ended and started and things like that. And I thought, even just reading the first few paragraphs of sci-vive, I knew there was something awesome about it. So I was like, all right, I'm going to read it anyways. I might as well just read it out loud and record myself. I mean, I like audiobooks. I'm sure someone else will think this is cool. Maybe someone else will appreciate it. And like, little did I know not only how much it would mean to the community, but how much it would mean to Richard. I didn't know that he had already been asked to do an audiobook, or that he wanted to, have it like all published someday. And, well, obviously, like, I could imagine that, but
Yeah.
I didn't know. I had no idea, to be
You
honest.
just started doing it. You just started doing
Yeah,
it, right? Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It was really a selfish endeavor, because I was just like, I like audiobooks. I'm gonna, maybe
Yeah.
someone else will think this is helpful to them. And
I I
it's
remember
been,
when it just came out of the blue, you were just starting to do it, and yeah, 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 yeah. That was kind of when I
yeah,
was
it's
just getting into this scene and watching what people were up to. I remember that though. You were reading. I was like, "Who's this girl? What's she up to?" She's reading from the
yeah,
book. All right.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I still read it very often, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm actually working on it. So there's two audio versions that are out there. The original one I did, that was just like, like, I've got this crappy microphone and I'm going to record this in my van, and you can hear dogs barking and the lawnmower going and things like that. And then that was so well received that I actually took an audiobook recording class, learned how to do it more professionally, and edited it audio wise, so that it's so good that it can be on Audible. We're still kind of figuring out the logistics and the legal, like, how that's going to work out, because it has to go through Richard's lawyers somehow before it gets put up there.
Okay.
And then the actual document, like the PDF files, the text of scivive, have gone through several iterations now. So what you see when you go to t.me/scivive, up in the pinned messages, you see the original scivive text, and nothing has been updated or edited since. I'm sorry, nothing's been posted since. But I edited it between the first audio recording and the second audio recording. And then I edited it while I was doing the second audio recording.
Right.
And then RH Max hired someone else outside of the community to edit the whole thing.
Okay.
And now I'm going through their suggestions and
Yeah.
approving or denying them for like a final pass through. And then it'll go into Richard's hands, and he'll, kind of like see how he feels about it. I have a feeling, seeing what he's posted in X over the last year, I think that utilizing AI might be something that he will do. I might end up like doing that before I send it off to him, just to make sure that all the points that he really wants to get across are getting across, and that everything is just
Okay.
outlined really well, makes sense. And
Have you gotten feedback from him on the readings, or no?
just that he's grateful. He
Yeah.
thinks it's lovely. And then just the most recent thing was, I don't remember how this got. I think somebody asked me. Somebody said, "Hey, SJ, how come because 15 Ways to Fix the World, Richard's other book, is on Spotify, but scivive wasn't?" And part of that was because one of the last interactions Richard and I had on that topic was that we were going to wait and like do it on Audible, and there was some legal stuff that had to happen. Well, since then, I was asked, "Hey, why doesn't it get put up on Spotify?" And I was like, "Well, the last time I checked, like, this is what was going on, but let me ask again." So I did, and basically Richard was like, he's like, "You know what? The more people that hear it, the better." He's like, "Let's just get it out there." So
Yeah.
that's why now you can hear scivive on Spotify as well. No commercials, no nothing. It's just play and go.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah. So he's grateful. He's grateful for it, for sure. So
What's your
that makes
favorite? What's your favorite quote or phrase or section? Something that always comes to your mind when you're.
there's there's a couple there. I couldn't quote them like word for word off the top of my head, but when he speaks about, I think one of the, if you were to take svive and just condense it and say these are the, main principles of svive, one of them that I really hang on to, and I've kind of seen myself be this way in life, is that only think about something negative for as long as it takes for you to make it positive. Changing your framing, your mental framing around a situation is so imperative to action. Because if you're sitting there worrying, and I just saw a really cool quote that said, worrying is praying for what you don't want. And really, if we're to make an impact on this world and do something and be our best selves and put our best selves out there, we really need to be focusing on what are the positive things I can do? What's the next positive step I can take? How can I? And it's never, in my opinion, the way Richard words it in svive, it's never this like rose-colored glasses type of optimism. It's just the reframing of the situation so that you're doing something to move forward versus just sitting there kind of spinning your wheels on the imaginary horribles, which is another phrase that I learned from Richard.
Imaginary horribles. I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great. I think that's the best life advice, period. I think that what you just told me sums up a great attitude. That's the makeup of a great attitude. Someone whose mind is focused away from, what did you say? The something horribles? What was
imaginary.
It? The imaginary horribles. And you're focused on, right. Yeah. You're focused on the possibilities. And those are the kind of people you want to be around anyway. They have those great attitudes, and that's all the great attitude is. They're not dwelling on these imaginary horribles. They're not, you feel it. You feel it when you're around those people. Yeah. You know it.
Absolutely.
You know it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to not be around those people anymore. They're addictive.
Yes. That also is one of the best things that I think has come out of this for me. And again, why I'm so positive. The connections that I've made, the network that I have, the people that I've surrounded myself with, like my life has 1000x'd. It feels like I mean, like, yay, green candles, but I don't need them for myself to feel fulfilled and stoked and happy about life. It's cool. Just, it's come so organically through kind of putting myself out there, right? And, doing what I could for this community. It's all about reciprocation. Just, seeing other people succeed, uplifting other people, talking about projects that are doing good things, and all of the, just recently, probably green candles, but just recently, all of the collaboration that we're seeing, more and more collaboration. And I love that. And I'm hoping that trend continues and grows, because that's how we get better and do more, is by collaborating and working together.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Crypto is a very competitive place. And there is something unique over here that isn't anywhere else. Even just generally in the world, it's a rare thing now. I'm glad you found this place. I'm glad you're loving life.
Yeah, me too. Well, and the crazy thing to me is, like, not only have I found people that are like-minded in, in financial, like, finances is such like yes, we're all like, I think RG says that, like, we're all here to make money. We're all here to get rich, right? Like, we're in crypto to see that happen. I also think, though, that within the HEX community, we're here to see the world change. We want to be the change in the world. And I've seen so many examples of that. And I'm so happy to be a part of that. It's just, for a perfect example, one of the first groups that I found out about within the HEX community, like, there's the HEX community, right? And then there's all these little subgroups within the HEX. There's a group called the HEX Guild. They used to be called the HEX Foodies. And they're one of the first groups that I got to know about, because the founder, or one of the founding members of it, is in Texas, just north of Austin, which is where I had been living. So we both went to the Austin meetup, and I met him there. So it's Eco Builder, and he's also very instrumental in the Hex postcards movement. So I meet him, and he tells me about the Hex Guild, and it's just people that are into permaculture, into growing your own food. It's a sugar
Wow.
baby watermelon. I grew it.
You grew up.
Um,
Where are they growing? Where are they doing this growing?
all over the world. All over the world.
Okay.
So
Okay.
there's a guy named Finbear who's in Finland. He's got bees and his own, like grow houses and things like that. Eco Builder, he's north of Austin in Texas. He's got
Okay.
fruit trees that he's, it's just at this point right now, it's everyone doing their own little thing, right? Like wherever they are. And at the top of, in hindsight, at the top of the last cycle, which is where I had just kind of come in and was starting to get to know the community, I heard, and it's not that these things are because of the bear market. Obviously, people don't have as much funding to do these dream-like things they want to do. But
Right.
I am telling you, I've heard from more than three people, three I can think of off the top of my head, but I know I've heard this sentiment echoed more than that, where these people are talking about, hey, we're going to get this plot, and it's going to be for like anyone in Mexico that's got an RV, and they want to come, and maybe like they'll till the land for a little bit in exchange for like having this spot there. And just the idea of creating little hexacos all over the place, whether
Yeah.
that's some plot of land where you can build your own home or tiny house, some plot of land where you can come pull up your RV or whatever it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
For in the grand scheme, maybe someday Richard does create Hexaco, right? Like
I could see
I
that.
really believe that we're on the pathway to that, and crypto for him is just a stepping stone to this actual, like idea, like place that we can all be together and have freedom, have real freedom.
Yeah, 100%. I like your idea of these little ones popping up, because that would be a nice start to get people started to create, places for us to meet with each other and share ideas and what we're up to, and start deepening those family ties, because we are spread out all over the world. I know, you're West Coast U.S. right now. Everybody I've talked to spread out across the U.S. I'm in Europe right now. I know there's Cryptocharius here in the chat. I know he's he's actually he's in the Americas too, but on the other half of the earth. Everyone's spread out everywhere, and it would be great if we did create. You know what? If anyone is in Eastern Europe, hit me up. I'm here. Now that you mention it, come by. I got a place to crash for you. I got cold beer in the fridge. Yeah.
Nice. And that's what I'm talking about. I love that. So I was just in Houston, and
Yeah.
I forgot that a friend of mine lives out there, and I reached out and I was like, hey, I was like, are you around? He's like, what do you need? He's like, yeah, absolutely, I'm here. You need a ride, you need a place to crash, like,
Yeah.
and I do need both of those things, and was able to take him up on it, and as I left, I was like, hey, equally, if you ever find yourself wherever this bus is, I've got 2 beds in here, like, I got a place for you to crash, like, let's go out, I'll take you out for a meal. And I'm excited that, right, those social connections, right, that already exists. Like, my net worth, because of my network, has increased, like I said, it feels like 1,000-fold, and I'm so stoked to think that I will have more financial freedom, and I will have more financial and economic energy, because that I'm the kind of person where I've been taken care of so well over the last few years. I only want to do that for others. Like, I want to pay that forward so hard. Like, that's what I'm most excited for. I'm not going to win Lambo. I don't need a win mansion. I live in like my living, like my cost of living, and like my, I don't know what you'd call that. Like, just the threshold at which my happiness level exists, right? I don't
Yeah.
need much. Like, physically, I don't need a lot of stuff. I'm not interested in buying trinkets and, like, super expensive this, that, or the other thing. So I know that I'm going to be able to get myself taken care of, whatever that looks like for me, and then have this abundance to be like, all right, cool. Like, who can I bless with this? Like, how can I help someone else
Yeah.
grow? Where like I was in a tough place at one point. Like, who's out there that's like really putting in the work and like trying to make it and doing something where, just a little, hey, like, I'm just going to throw you this like super chat for $500, right? Like, someone did that for me once. And
Nice.
those little things, like, they leave such an impression, and they mean so much to the content creators, because it's like, cool, like, especially in our ecosystem, right? Because we're not getting paid. We're not the ones out there
Yeah.
getting paid shills,
Yeah. Yeah.
So for us to spend a lot of time and energy out here shilling these things on our own time, on our own dime, it really means the world. When even, I mean, I'm telling you, for me, even just someone like commenting or liking a post of mine, like, you took the time to do that. And there was one night a few weeks ago, I just went through and like anyone that commented or liked on a post of mine, it was just one post, I went through and sent each of them a DM. I was just like, hey, whether I knew them or not, I was like, thank you so much for taking the time to show your appreciation and to
Yeah.
like show that support. It means a lot, especially when we're
Yeah.
down in the bear market and like just fighting and stuff like that. So I just feel wealthy all over.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel you. I feel you. I felt a lot of support from a lot of people, and a lot of people have reached out in really amazing ways to ask how they could help, which has been really mind blowing and nothing I ever expected before. And
Yeah.
it makes up for all the nasties that have also reached out and gone out of their way.
For sure. And it's
It
hard
drowned
to
them out really quick.
yeah, you gotta remember, you gotta try to make the good outweigh the bad, because
For
the
sure,
one bad
100%.
feels 100 times worse than 100 good comments, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It could be
it's just
easy. I think a lot of people
those.
do get caught up in that. Yeah. 100%.
Mhm.
100%. 100%. And a lot of people do get caught up in that, but those people are just not important. They're not important.
True.
They're probably going to
Yeah.
wreck their lives. They got a bad attitude, and you just got to ignore them. Sadly,
Yeah.
people get hung up on them because there are more of them. There's always more of those people.
It's true. And
There just
maybe not
is.
that there's more. There might
Huh?
not be more, but they're just louder.
They're louder. Yeah.
They're the
Yeah.
louder
Yeah.
ones.
They're louder. They're louder. But I focus on like you're saying, everybody else, because the other people, the people that shine light have a lot to offer, and they're helping light your path. You gotta take it. You gotta take those steps, because that's the highlighted path. You know what I mean? You shine light. You have a highlighted path in front of you. Yeah. Yeah,
I
you
feel that.
do.
I definitely feel that. This
Do you?
has been, I'm the kind of person that when I'm into something or I am promoting something, I'm
Mm-hmm.
110% about it.
Are you?
I mean, to the point of, I mean, look, like, I've done acting in the past, and
Okay.
there was a point where I would turn down commercials because, even though it's like, yeah, I could get paid to do this, there's two commercials I talk about that, I in hindsight, I'm like, man, I could have made a lot of money doing these two commercials, but I can't advocate. Like, it was a Budweiser commercial and one was a Burger King commercial. And I was just like, I don't put that stuff in my body. I don't want my image associated with promoting those things. So as much as I am for something, I have the integrity to say no. Like, I'm not gonna just like, it's neat because I can see how that moves forward into the crypto world. I've never been asked to shill anything. I've never been like asked to even, because I'm, my content is very, very niche, right? Very much like Richard Hart, svive,
Yeah.
positivity, right?
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
talking about a lot of coins or prices or charts or things like that. So that doesn't come at me. However, it just feels good to know that I'm the kind of person that would say no anyways, like, I'm like, no, I'm about this, and I'm going to be about it, and I'm going to talk about it. So all of that to say that if this were still the world of, TV and acting and advertising, it makes me happy to know that in some way my likeness, my image, my personality is being utilized for the greater good of this community and this coin, and seeing what it's done for other people, knowing what it can do, what it has the potential to do for me and others in the future. there's nothing to me like hearing Richard talk about having his cup overflow and him wanting to see other people's cups overflow. There's nothing greater in the world to me than putting that message forward and seeing that to come to fruition for people that are out there doing good and wanting to build something meaningful in this world. So,
What do you think? What do you think Richard Hart's trying to build in this world?
I honestly think a nation state. I think someday that there's going to be an actual physical Hexaco, or I could almost see him running for some kind of government, maybe. But more, to me, it feels more likely that it would make more sense to me to see him actually go out and create a nation state. And I don't know if he'd be the leader of it or whatever, or like how he'd set that up. But like just knowing that I mean,
he'd be
he's
the
talked
leader.
about that in the past. You know what I mean? Like he really brought up Hexaco and talked about. In fact, I want to go back and find some of his older streams about it. It's for sure something that he wants for us in the future, I think.
Yeah, I think he'd be the leader of that nation state. I think he's going to do it. I think he will, because we have to. It has to manifest physically. This place, Hexaco, it has to. And like you said, maybe there's going to be micro Hexacos for now in different places. Like there'll be one in Ecuador and one in Austin and one in Berlin or wherever they are. But I think eventually one will have to manifest somewhere, and it could be on a boat, very large ship at some point, or it could be in an actual place.
It's funny you mentioned that. I actually know someone who's like at the top of the last bowl was like looking at buying a cruise ship, not like a smaller sized cruise ship, to kind of create some kind of like wellness establishment on a cruise ship, which I think is awesome. I think I think that's a fantastic idea.
That is
I'm for it. Sign me
up. Yeah. And you have kind of a ship. You live on a ship. We can't like move in. It's not big enough for all of us to come move in with you, but it's a pretty cool ship.
It's a pretty cool ship.
Yeah. Where are you going to go next? I don't know. Do you just travel around in the ship, or?
So at this point, no. It's not. I drove it around 2 years ago for the tour.
Okay.
And basically just made a bunch of dumb girl mistakes. When I bought it, I didn't have someone really look at the mechanics of the thing. And I just kind of drove it away, and it drove, and I was like, oh, great, this is totally working.
I see where this is going.
Yeah, so it's a much better ship docked at bay than to be out roaming around. And on top of that, over the last year, I did get to travel extensively in Europe, and for a long time, even before crypto, I had the feeling that I wasn't going to end up living in the States my whole life.
Okay.
So I am actually in the middle of kind of learning and looking into what it would be like to either be a digital nomad or something along those lines. I really, really love Portugal. I spent some time there and just kind of fell in love. Malta is fantastic too. I did island life for a little while though, so I don't know if I can end up being in Malta.
One way to look at it is if you take on, and this is for anyone out there who's considering digital nomad, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there. I've traveled a lot. I left the U.S. in 2019. Look at how countries reacted to the zombie apocalypse, how they treated their populations, and help that guide you, because that'll be a good precursor to how they feel about individual rights and freedoms. And I traveled extensively during that time, and yeah.
That's good to know. Yeah, and another thing too is why not go where your money is treated best?
That's right? Another number one rule. Yes, of course. Yeah. Where's it going to work? Look for where the maybe the WEF has a high amount of influence. I would generally avoid the EU zone. You know, of course, the weather is perfect in some of these places. That's why you're torn. You're like, World Economic Forum or sunny beaches. What do I do? But yeah, you got to make that decision. It's tough, right? But it could play out better in the long run to just sacrifice some of that stuff and know you can go visit these places, but not get trapped there or with, whatever they do next, or, I'm sure they have all kinds of things planned on their list for us. So,
no kidding. And I try not to.
But what will you do with the bus? What will you do with the ship? You gonna sell it, or you just put it?
Not yet. Okay. Not yet, because I think so all my family's here in Southern California. So, and that's part of why I moved back here. So I had been docked in Austin, Texas for a while. Yeah. And then at the end of last year, at the end of the US tour, I ended up moving and being stationary back in California because I spent 16 years in Austin, Texas, away from all my family. My niece was a baby when I left. She's a teenager now, about to graduate high school. My parents are getting older and, kind of, have like medical issues and things like that here and there. And I'm the oldest, I'm the responsible one. So most likely for me, it's not going to be a clean, like, buy forever USA. Like, I'm going to need to probably keep my citizenship here. And that's why I said, like, I'm really interested in trying to figure out how to do the digital nomad life, because that makes the most sense to me. And I will likely be going back and forth from one country to another, at least for the foreseeable future, right? Like, until I don't have anything really tying me back to the States, I will most likely be going back and forth and being that, being the eldest daughter and taking care of things for the family. So
that's cool. How many siblings do you have?
I have. That's a whole other show, darling. But I technically have
just a number then.
4.
You got 4. Okay, that's cool. You got a good big family to keep you company. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and they're all. It's all. I was adopted, and now I know I have 4 parents. I basically have 4 families. So birth mom over there, birth dad over there, mom that raised me, dad that raised me.
You found out who they were at some point?
Yeah, my the most beautiful story, most selfless thing ever. My mom that raised me, it was a closed adoption, so she's always known the name and the information and things like that. I've always known that I was adopted, and then I think when I was like 16, she shared a little bit more of the story with me and showed me some pictures. And then when I was 20, when I was, I talked earlier about how I got married really young. So when that was happening, my mom went out and like tracked down my birth mother because she wanted her to be a part of this moment in my life of me getting married. So so she ends up, tracking her down, and my birth mother was at that wedding, and we no longer speak.
Why?
I care for her very much, my birth mom, but she's had a lot of trauma in her life, and a lot of it has she hasn't dealt with it and takes it out on people. So her twin sister, who's my aunt, and myself, the two like closest possible relations to her, we both don't speak to her because it's just it's tough. And it's like, as much as we care and love her and see this creative, wonderful person, right? Like, there's just this, knowing that, hey, like, whatever this tension is, right? Like, that's something that, and you can't tell someone this, it's hard for them to see it themselves unless she's going to get her own help or see that she's severed these relationships and go get counseling or something. It's just, it came down to a point for me where I ended up reading a couple books, learning about some personality disorders, and being like, all right, I gave it one last shot. Like, I set boundaries and did it all on my own terms. And I think that's important to at least try. And at the end of the day, it was just like, no, like the stress and the anxiety and the guilt I feel from, having that relationship with her, like, it's too heavy to hold for me to, like, carry my light and move forward in my life. And it's unfortunate, but
it sounds like it sounds like you gave it your all.
More than once. Yeah. And I really wanted it to work out, but it's like, then I got to see, like, now I understand why my aunt and her haven't had the best relationship, and why just all these things, everything kind of started to make sense. Cause at first I had a very like rose colored glasses impression of her, because it was like, oh, my birth mom, you know what I mean? Like, I've wondered about you for 20 years of my life, like. And we
Yeah.
like I said, we got along really well. We were very similar. We even So nature versus nurture is crazy, y'all. This
Mm-hmm.
woman had nothing to do with my upbringing. We use the same words, we have the same hand motions. Like, I look more like her
Really?
than her sister. Yeah.
Really?
So
So it
yeah,
was just built. It's built into the code, huh?
it
So you,
is. Yeah. At least
wow.
in my case.
Even
Yeah.
hand gestures. Hand gestures.
Yes. Yeah.
I
She
thought that
would.
was hand gestures would have been learned for sure. Like if you're more
Wow.
Italian, you see your Italian side. If I no, it's code, huh?
Uh-uh. Yeah,
Crazy.
that was coded.
Wow.
That was coded for me.
Wow. So
Yeah.
how did
So
I mean, you're 20 and did you understand then the affliction or the spell of trauma layers she was under, or is that something you learned later to when you explored what was wrong? Or
later
did
for
you
sure.
know?
Because when, like with her,
Yeah.
it all happened later, because when I first met her, I was a lot more like her, in terms of like my thinking and where I was in life.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was, and like this kind of sounds like what's the word I'm looking for? Like flippant, or like not a huge deal, but just being, I was like 60 pounds, 60, 70 pounds heavier than I am now, drank a lot of wine, ate a lot of cheese, went to like non-denominational Christian church,
Yeah.
and just was kind of a different person. And she was into all those things too, and still is to
Hmm.
this day, you know. And like,
Hmm.
just I've kind of grown into my own being and my own person, and have different ideals now about life, and different ideals about what I put in my body and how I live my life.
Right.
And as I moved away from kind of that, I saw like, oh, like, maybe this isn't the healthiest healthiest thing or best relationship. And on top of that, I also realized and was able to not just recognize, but um I don't know, I'm trying to find the right word. Being adopted is traumatic, and I never allowed myself to be upset about it. I never had the thoughts of like, oh, why, like, why would she have done that? And what a terrible person that she gave me up for adoption. I never really had those thoughts as I grew up. I was just curious. I just wanted to know about her. I was, wanted to understand, like what was the situation like? Because I didn't know really anything, but never really felt upset towards her, or upset that I had been given up for adoption.
Okay.
And then
That's
I'd
good.
say within the last 2 to 3 years, as I've moved away from her in that relationship, I have allowed myself to grieve that. I had to kind of go through a grieving process of understanding that those formative years, like when you're, 0 to 3 years old, and I don't know, I'm sure
Yeah.
there's actual science on this, but
Yeah.
not having the actual physical touch of my birth mother, like being taken from the womb. I was 2 weeks old when I was adopted. So being taken from the womb and being given up for adoption
Yeah.
nearly right away, like has effects. And I didn't allow myself to think that will, like, I'm not this way because I was adopted or whatever. And again, luckily, like, I have a very strong mind. I've not had to go through a lot of depression or anxiety in my life, but the moments where I've been down and like just had these conflicts, either with myself or with, whatever's going on in my outside world,
Right.
I allowed myself to heal. I allowed myself to first acknowledge that was a trauma, and
Yeah.
then I allowed myself to just kind of go through a healing process with that, and feel better about, the fact that my own flesh and blood mother was like not ready or available or able to care for me. Yeah. And that's, I mean, and again, I feel fortunate, honestly, that that's like probably one of the most traumatic things I've ever gone through. Like, my life has been really lovely. Like, I wanted for nothing from my adopted parents, took great care of me. And, even though they're not together anymore, they're both wonderful, like, parents to me. And now I have my birth father as well, who's a big part of my life. And he's a badass. It's super cool.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's good that she didn't get a chance to traumatize you at a young age. That instead you were exposed to a parent or mother who helped build your self-esteem and your identity in a positive way. That's really
Absolutely.
good. That's really good. And
Yeah.
God, yeah, angels are watching you and protecting you.
Yeah. My mom says I've got at least 5 following me all the
Oh
time.
yeah,
Thanks, Mom.
you got
And she's a
6.
prayer warrior too. I
Good.
got real jaded about Christianity for a while, but Jesus is cool. He's
Yeah. Yeah, we
I
all
like
go
I
through
like
that
seeing.
phase. We all go through that. I
Yeah.
was an
Yeah.
atheist as a
My mom.
teenager, of course. You're like rebelling and, you know.
I was the opposite. I'm not an atheist now, but I was
I,
a super like on fire born again
I was
Christian when
I
I
was
was a
anti
teenager.
everything as a teenager, you know.
Nice. I'm that way now.
You're
No, I'm
that way
just
now.
kidding.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. Anti-establishment, like anti-government. No, I'm just kidding. I'm pro svive.
Pro sci-fi and the lessons in there. So your dad, so that's cool. So you talk to your dad and he's cool. He's a badass. Badass
Yeah,
like what?
he's
Like
so
he rides
he's
a
a black
Harley and
belt.
wears black leather. What's badass?
He at one point
Chuck
did do
Norris?
that.
Who is he?
Not anymore. He is, yeah, my birth dad is Chuck Norris.
It's Chuck Norris. Okay.
No, he's close to
Certified.
it, man. Like
Chuck Norris is a Hexican.
so well my if my dad's a Hexican too, so that counts.
Is he?
That's another. Yeah, so all of my parents except for my birth mom. And I tried with her before we stopped talking. I tried to get her in. I'm actually kind of glad I didn't, because I can only imagine the messages she'd be sending me had I got her in at, near the top or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, all my parents are into X. But my birth dad, he's a black belt in like 10 different disciplines of karate.
Really?
And yeah. So real
Interesting.
cool. Yeah. Like you want to date me? I got a dad that's a former cop and a dad that's a black belt in 10 different forms of karate. So
Wow.
bring it. Good luck with that. No, they're great. Both my dads are awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that's my whole life story. Hi, welcome to the SJ show. I didn't know we were gonna get this deep about my.
Hey, I'm not prying at all. I was gonna stop you, but I didn't want to be rude. I was like, stop! Don't tell us everything. You can't. We're live on Twitter.
If you watch my content, everyone probably that knows me knows a lot of this stuff. I'm a very open book.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just grateful you didn't buy the what do they call that? What is that? The badminton purse? Not badminton. It was that game. The fucking sliding the balls. What's that game
I don't know
called?
what you're talking about.
On the cruise ship. God, that purse was awful.
Shuffleboard?
It wasn't. It's called something, but it's like shuffleboard. Yeah, it's that game where they had it on there, and you were looking at it.
Bocce ball?
The bocce. Yeah. No, it wasn't even a bocce ball. It wasn't even that cool. Was it bocce ball?
I'm so intrigued. I have no idea.
Yeah,
I don't know what
cool.
you're looking
So so you're back from the cruise. That was your first cruise?
No, that was my 4th cruise.
Your 4th. Okay, yeah, and you're wearing the shirt. There was okay, was it organized? Was there a lot of family on that cruise?
There was a lot of Black Hexican, Casey, the artist formerly known as Black Hexican. She goes by Crypto Culture now. So the Pulse Chain Tour team is her, Casey, myself, and RG, so 3 of us. Okay. And she's the one so she's already been cruising with her family for a long time. Like they've been doing cruises. Okay. And so over the last few years, especially, it's become now like, hey, like let's do a Pulse Chain or Hex cruise. So the first one I went on with our team was like 2 years ago. I went from 0 to 4. Like all my life and never been on a cruise. And then in the last 2 years, I've been on 4 total. So the first one was to the Bahamas. We flew to Florida, took a cruise from Florida to the Bahamas. Now that cruise, I'd never been on a cruise before. I didn't know what to expect. And I'm thinking we're going to the Bahamas. So I'm all excited about like being in the Bahamas. If you've never cruised before, it's not about the destination. No. It's about the cruise.
It's about the cruise. Yeah.
It is about the cruise. So I didn't really understand that my first cruise. And so I was a little like let down because I didn't really do much at the Bahamas. I think we were in port at the Bahamas for like 1 day. And I was just like, what did we even do? Like, why were we even here? And And so that was kind of like, I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm ever going to go on a cruise again. And then I ended up going on the next cruise, and that was to Cabo. And that was phenomenal. I mean, I took advantage of all of the adventures on the ship. There's always something to do. There's some show to see. They have all these different themed restaurants, and they have excursions. So like if you're going to go on the cruise, maybe look at their excursions. You don't necessarily have to book it through the cruise ship, but you at least then know what you might have the time to go out and do. Like, oh, we're only going to be here for a few hours, go out and do this thing. Or in this case, in Cabo, we actually stayed one night at the port. So we had a whole 2 days to be there and take advantage of it.
Were you there with your family as well, or was it just HEX again family?
Just my Pulse Chain HEX family.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you married again? Were you by yourself, or you?
Yeah, by myself. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, this last cruise I actually tried to get my niece to go, and then one of my aunts, and then my mom, and that just didn't they wouldn't let my niece go because it's her senior year of school. They didn't want her to get out of school or whatever. My aunt couldn't go because she's going on another cruise later, like this next month. And then my mom was like super on the fence about it, and I was just like, if you're on the fence about this, like, you don't really, I want you to go and have like a good time and be excited about something. So I decided to go again by myself, and this was great. This last cruise was fantastic. We went to went to Galveston. Go ahead.
Yeah. Do you recommend for us to come on the next one? And
yeah,
should you come? Is it a great place to meet people in terms of like for single people to come, or is it something you want to bring family, or is it more of like a family thing, or is it good for single people to come on?
Both for sure. Especially this. So
you meet people.
It kind of depends on the ship. Okay. But like all of the cruises that I've been on, someone within our group has brought the whole family. Right? Or multiple people usually bring the whole family, right? So there's kids involved, there's kids clubs, they're running around doing whatever it is they want to do. Like, it's great for families for sure. It's great for singles also, because the ship really does a great job of catering to everybody. Okay. I mean, this last cruise probably had more families and kids on it than any of the other cruises that I'd been on before. But as a single person, like, I wasn't annoyed. I didn't, it didn't faze me. Like, I wasn't upset at all the children's running around, like
kids running around and yelling the whole time.
Not really. Yes and no. Depends on like what part of the ship you're at or whatever. But
you like kids?
Everything was. I do like kids.
Yeah, you would. How much would you have one day? Would you have your own?
I would have at least 3. Yeah.
3, at least 3. So you like them a lot.
I mean,
actually, not really. Yeah. That's like the bare minimum is 3.
Here's the thing, like, I want to do my part for the world, right? Like, I'm also not opposed to like not having kids. Like, I'm already at some point where like that's kind of on the fence for me. Yeah. So I'm like, if I do, awesome. If I don't, totally fine with that too. I love being the crazy awesome aunt.
What if your man was like, I want 5 kids?
I'm down. Let's go.
You're down. She's ready, guys. She's down, and she's rich.
Hey. That's right. I'm not. Yeah. I mean, I'm rich here.
She's rich in the heart. She can handle.
I am rich. Yeah. I will be rich.
Do a lot of because there's not a lot of women in crypto. So do a lot of guys in crypto constantly reach out to you and ask if they can meet you and hang out with you and send you their picture or something?
I'm so this is not a solicitation.
They send you their wallet, a picture of their wallet.
I don't. I'd rather get that than dick pics. So, which I haven't gotten.
Do you get portfolio pics? Do they send you their portfolio?
I don't. Someone just recently though said, and I hope you're. It doesn't matter if you're watching or not. So it was someone random said something to the effect of like, I can't wait for HEX to hit $1 so I can come to the States and meet you.
Oh boy. I
was like, sorry, honey, when HEX hits $1, I probably won't be in the States anymore. Not gonna lie.
She'll be gone. But she wants 5 kids, guys. So you got to be able to. You got to have a pretty big bag, pretty big portfolio.
That's right.
Yeah.
Go all the children's. Yeah. And here's the thing: is like having been adopted myself, I'm also open to adopting. Like that's not.
Say that again. You also what?
I'm open to adopting children.
Oh, you're
like should physically not be, because I've never tried to have kids even, so like I don't know,
Right.
but like if that
Yeah.
if that happens to not be a thing,
It's a nature thing.
you
You
know,
don't have to put in. You don't have to put in that much effort.
yeah,
Nature's got
right.
it. Nature's got you.
No, for real. And
What?
that's the funny thing about being adopted is my parents tried for like 8 to 10 years to have a kid, adopted me,
Yeah.
and got pregnant.
That's far out. Isn't that how it is?
It
Isn't that
happens
how
a
it is?
lot.
And when you finally just give in and you let it go, life just handles it all for you. Isn't that funny how
There's
that
no more
is, right?
stress.
You
Yeah,
let
it's a
go.
hormonal thing.
Yeah, you let go of the resistance. Things
Yep.
just start to happen. What do you look for? And what do you look for in guys? Do you want a crypto guy? Do you want a guy into crypto? You want
Yeah.
a gamer? You want a gamer guy?
Not necessarily gamer. I mean, I like
Yeah.
gaming.
Yeah.
So kind of going back to that, Fanforge.xyz is a startup that I have just recently been added to as a founding member, which is
Okay.
super exciting and prestigious feeling.
Okay.
Like I don't feel like I've been a part of several startups,
Yeah.
a couple different startup companies, but they were both nonprofits, the other ones.
Okay.
So to be starting something that is taking two things that I either love or have loved, gaming and crypto, and marrying the two, and storytelling, and I'm really looking forward to what is going to happen in these next couple years with
And
all
that's
of that.
Fanforge, correct?
Yeah, Fanforge.
Okay. Because you'd said
Yeah,
earlier
Fanforge.
to talk about what's new in gaming. So that's the thing, Fanforge.
That's it. Yeah,
That's it.
that's
Okay,
it.
cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's like getting to see my life kind of come full circle, because like I said, I had worked for Blizzard Entertainment in the past,
Yeah.
and spent a lot of time playing their video games and things like that, and now I'm working with people who
Okay.
are or have been AAA devs, artists. They worked on Diablo, they worked on StarCraft, like
Right.
they worked on Call of Duty and other games. So it's really exciting to see this merge of a couple of places I've been in life coming together and getting to move this team forward. And in turn, I think one of our biggest goals as a company is to get people into crypto without them even knowing it, in a way. So it's like all of a sudden, like through this system of storytelling, gaming, and NFT art,
That's the best way to do anything. Yeah.
just sneak it in there.
It's like slipping something in someone's drink, right? Just
Yeah,
yeah.
perfect.
Yeah. Just bring it in.
It's not creepy
Okay.
at all.
Good Lord. All right. We've got somebody's birthday is going on. You know that, right?
I do know that.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Richard Hart.
Happy birthday, Richard Hart.
Mm-hmm.
Your sound effects are cool.
Happy birthday, Richard Hart. It's awesome. It's October 9th.
That's
I was going to tell you some juicy stuff about the Heartman because it's his birthday today.
Ooh, I love juicy stuff.
It's really juicy, though. It's really juicy. Like, you're already sitting down. That's a good start.
Yeah, I'm sitting down.
Okay. I'll tell you.
Should I hold this up?
I'll tell you, but you got to earn it. You got to earn it, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do I got to do?
Okay. Well, I'll ask you a question. And if I like the answer, I'll tell you a juicy secret.
Okay. Excellent.
Okay. So, my first question. Which is your favorite Richard Hart ticker? There's 4 to choose from. Actually, 5. There's 5. I'll know if you don't tell me the truth, by the way.
Man, that's tough. Honestly, I have to say HEX. Because it just starts. Yeah, because it started it all.
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah. Sorry.
She said it. She said it, guys.
Like if I was gonna buy now, I'd probably buy more pHEX,
Okay.
but in that, like, the spot in my heart with the most warmth is for EHEX, because that's where
Yeah.
it all began.
Yeah.
I only have my pHEX copies because I had EHEX. Like I'm pretty sure I bought some pHEX since then, But, like for me, the majority of the pHEX that I hold came from originally having eHEX. The majority of the hex that I hold came from eHEX. I get better at saying the right words. Hex on pulse chain. So yeah, there you go.
So CryptoTry, look, man, it said eHEX. People are stating their favorite ones, but no, it's eHEX. And because I'm so shocked at your answer, I'm going to give you 2 secrets. Okay. So Richard Hart was born on October the 9th, 1947.
47. That's not right.
It took you a while. No. So this is like 79, right? Okay. So just wanted to see if you were paying attention. All right. And his life path, 1947. Actually, he's old, man. He's old. His life path number is, can you guess? How about chat? Do you guys know what his life path number is? Don't write it. Let her answer first. Let's see if she knows.
I can't. You know what?
Are you typing? Don't type. You can't. She's talking to ChatGPT right now. Don't cheat. No, don't cheat. Don't cheat.
Richard's life path number.
What's his life path number?
Something in me wants to say a 5 for some reason. That's just a total guess. So I don't know.
It's 8.
8. Right.
And the double secret is I found out from my research that based on the birth date of HEX, the life path number of HEX is also an 8.
Ooh.
Now, what's crazy is I was born on the 8th. I was born on the 8th. So that's cool. But did he do that on purpose or not? I don't know. Does he know his life path number? I don't know. Is he I don't know him. Is he into numerology?
I think on a not necessarily surface level, but yes, because the 369 of the HEX, like the logo and how it was that right? That was he knows about numerology in that's the what is it, the golden ratio or something like that? Like that's planned. Like he knows like that 369 number is around for a reason, I wouldn't say that he's the kind of person that would spend time learning about his master number or his life path number or things like that. They may have been told to him before. He may or may not know it, but similar to, at least I'm extrapolating this from what I know about him in astrology, whereas it's similar. He knows his sign. He knows his birth time and location and things like that, and that those things, but he probably couldn't tell the moon sign.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Well, based on the number 8, the financial success is a big part of the life path number 8, more so than any other number, which is interesting because I think he's always been quite a successful guy.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
All right. Okay, I'll ask you another question. On Pulse Chain, do you have what's another project you like on Pulse Chain besides the RH tickers?
Oh gosh. I'm hesitant because I guess since this is a question and me not shilling things, I'm going to name a few things that I'm interested in or have stock in, I guess you could say. I'm going to start with one of the projects that is really near and dear to my heart and I think is fantastic and I think more people should learn more about, Project Pi.
Project what?
Project Pi.
Project
Speaking
Pi.
of numbers. Yeah.
Speaking of numbers.
PI.
3.14.
Yeah.
I don't know this one.
So Project Pi is, especially for someone like me who lives in a bus and does not have any kind of very stable. I mean, I use Starlink, but I don't have like an Ethernet, like stable connection. I couldn't run a validator, right? Like if I wanted to. So to be able to participate in validating through Project Pi, it makes me happy because basically they have like the nodes and equipment and things like that, and I
Yeah.
participate by like staking a portion of my pulse.
Okay.
And it's even like it's 32 mil, I think, to be a regular validator, but through the Project Pi, through their initiative, you only need 16 million pulse in order to participate and be a validator within their system. I have not spent a lot of time being caught up with where they're at or what's going on with it, to be honest with you, just because I've been kind of in my own world, kind of trying to take care of everything. But we're overdue for a conversation, me and those guys. So check them out. Learn as much as you can as well. Again, DYOR. But that's one big project that I think is worth looking into. And again, especially if mostly because of the fact that I think that everyone should validate if they can. And if you don't have that option in terms of your space or equipment or things like that, this is a great alternative. And I know that there are others out there, but I've worked with the Project Pi guys. I met them when I went to Atlanta. They've been to several of the Pulse Chain Tour stops, and they went on one of the cruises with us. So, we've built quite a relationship, and I really I think what they're doing is fantastic. So
cool. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Interesting. All right. Well, Life Path 8s are known for being authoritative and even controlling. They're very much an authority in whatever field they want to be in, according to a numerologist named Carthart. Do you think that's a hard man?
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. I know it doesn't feel like it. And, it bums me out when people say that he's disappeared or he's not with us anymore or whatever. Like, hello, he's tweeting on X or Xing, whatever you want to call it, on X all the time. He hasn't gone anywhere, like it's, to me, in my opinion, I don't know if this is true or not, but you can kind of glean, right? Like read between the lines. I am nearly positive that the silence is due to the case. And once that's clear, because he's got a big ass mouth, y'all. Like that man can talk. Yeah. And if he were to have said or say anything over the last couple of years that could have incriminated him in any way, shape, or form, anything they could use against him in court.
Yeah.
Right? It makes way more
of course.
To me. He's staying silent during this time. So I hope
every time he streams, it's an opportunity to slip up, to make a mistake, that they can come on October 31st and play back in court and say, see, he said that. Yeah, so people got to understand. I mean, I think the smart people get it. They get it. You got to just chill.
Yeah. Just let daddy cook. let him do his thing. So...
Let's see.
I think we're going to be in store for a pleasant surprise once that's all said and done. I think that glory is incoming.
What do you not like about Pulse Chain or the ecosystem? What do you not like?
I don't like anyone.
You don't like
spending their time. You ready? I don't like anyone spending their time and energy. I got to figure out how to word this correctly, because look.
Oh boy.
There are scammers. There are people that are going to rug pull. There are paid shillers out there.
Yeah.
Most of them are not in our community. A lot of them are not. And I feel like time could have been more well spent outside, like looking further outside, rather than nitpicking at people inside of our community for failures. Okay, and RG said this well, and I think it made a lot of sense, was that there are projects that have come out and they didn't code something right. They missed something. It's not flawless code like HEX. Coding is hard.
Yeah.
So where these projects failed or had exploits, that doesn't necessarily mean that they were out to scam you or be malicious or rug
Yeah.
pull. And you look, it is good. We all need to DYOR, and we all need to do research
Yeah.
into, whatever it is we're putting our time and energy into. I just think that a lot of the infighting and the, calling people this, that, or the other thing without all of the information, or, extrapolating on some small piece of information that you have, and then,
Yeah.
like jumping to conclusions,
Yeah.
right? Like, I feel like there could things could be done in a better way in terms of, like, how do we even know what to look out for? Like, what are the signs of someone who's going to scam you? Like,
Yeah.
let's talk about that versus digging as hard as we can to find someone who's done something wrong and then call them a scammer. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying that we shouldn't be looking out for this kind of stuff. I just think that it can be done in a better way and be pointed at the people who are out there doing it maliciously and are legit trying to scam you, which those people are starting to crawl in, right? Like, now that we're taking off again, now that Hex is being, put out there more, Pulse Chain's getting more well known, more and more people are going to come into the fold and try to scam us. So we need to be able to better differentiate between, the real malicious scammy people and, a dev that just, like, missed a piece of code, right? And then
Yeah.
someone exploited it. Those are two different things, and you can't be calling them the same thing.
So you don't like, so you don't like the scammers, straight up the scammers, not the people that are paid shillers.
For sure, I don't like the scammers, but I also don't like the influencers or the content creators who are spending their time and energy, trying to look for things that are not there.
There's some inspectors we got, but I think scammers are part of crypto. They're here, of course, and I guess you can't stop them. That's a tough one. The paid chillers are here too. And they're gonna come too, I guess. There's some of them I don't like only because they shit on either Hex or Pulse Chain or what RH made, and then they hang out on the chain RH made and shill stuff. That I don't like. Because it's very two-faced. They rag on, Hex, and then they promote their whatever they're promoting and making money off the community. So I get you. I feel you. And I think Chat agrees too. I don't know. Chat, what pisses you guys off the most about Pulse Chain? I'd be curious.
I keep forgetting there's chat.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll tell you something really interesting about Life Path 8s. They experience very instant karma, very fast karma, more powerfully than other people. So it's always in their interest to write things with people.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And that could be true possibly for Hex too. So maybe that's a predictor of very good things that are coming. And
for sure, especially being gatekept for the last almost 5 years, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of gatekeeping in general. And the Heartman, he's a lot of people give him a really bad rap. You know what I mean? But I think that he might write things in a way beyond people's expectations. Yeah, I'm sure he's feeling.
I agree.
Pressure. Yeah. When things go down, they can go down, but when they go up, they can go, beyond what anyone's expectation is. Also, let's get. Whoa. Chat is. Wow. Chat is on fire.
Guess what? Comments. Okay.
What's got your attention?
I can see the chat now on our streaming screen because I was moving back and forth to YouTube, and now I figured out how to see it on whatever on this setup you got here.
Nice. I'm gonna go to the loo. I'll be right back. Chat with chat. Chat. Be nice. Be polite. I know you guys are animals, but I trust you. So I'll be right back.
О, боже мой!
Everybody, it's just you and me now. What you want to do? Netflix? You got that highest stakes documentary? Huh? You gonna watch that? Let's see. I'm gonna go back through the chat because I didn't even know you existed. Vandale, what's up? I hope you got to hear me shout out Project Pi because y'all are fantastic. Ovidian Hex, hello friend. Let's see. Mitch, hello from Slovenia. Slovenia sounds lovely. I don't think I've ever been there. My friend had 100K and with options went to 20K. Yeah, Ovidian, I'm glad that I did not go down that options road. Yeah. Crypto Charla, hello friend. Good to see you. Shout out the Leo community as well. That was another thing I was going to bring up when he asked me about projects and things that are happening. So it's interesting because there's the whole Atropa. Like I learned a little bit about Atropa and pDAI and Teddy Bear and all that, right? And then even within that, like there's like ecosystems within ecosystems, right? So there's this Leonidas coin that I was very generously gifted several coins from that dev, and so now I'm up in their chats watching their ecosystem to see how all that does and how that all that goes. The other projects that I know about or have heard about and have hoped or have thought were going to do good, and you know, I admitted this. I've admitted this, I think, in chat several times in telegrams. I don't know if I've ever done it live on stream, but I learned. No, I did. I think I did this on my own stream. I learned my lesson because I shilled at the top. The only other coin that I've ever talked about outside of RH coins, which I don't even talk about those often, is Gift Tech, and it went and did some astronomical ridiculousness, and that was the first time I'd ever seen a coin do X's like that. You know, something that I had in my possession, like do that many X's, because I wasn't there for the big run up with HEX, right? So even though I've heard it over and over again that you shouldn't shill at the top, it's like that euphoria just takes over, and you're like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. Everybody needs to know about this, right? No. Now everybody needs to know about it because there's potential for it to, you know, do more upsides again. But I feel that way about several coins or tokens that, like, I know the people that started it or founded it. I know they're all good-hearted people, and I am, what's the word? I'm rooting for them, right? Like, I want all of the projects on Pulse Chain and all of the coins to do well, because why not? You know, founders and holders, right? Like, I'm like 99% sure I'll never do my own coin because that doesn't appeal to me. I don't like code. I don't see why any economic energy would need to go in some way that way. I'd rather have people just, like, you know, buy and stake HEX. But I don't want to shit on or say that people who do that are bad in any way, shape, or form, because I think that it can be good for the ecosystem. It can bring people in that may not have otherwise come in. And those people are learning some great, valuable lessons in terms of, like, being a founder, what that looks like, how that works, you know, what it takes to actually create a coin. I mean, like, this flawless uptime of HEX, right? Like, how difficult is that to achieve, you know? So that's my spiel. Just reading.
Yeah, I see some people deleted some chats.
Oh, yeah. I didn't see it. But, you know, you're being watched. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
All right. What do you think the best and worst thing about being a woman in crypto is? That's Jay.
Ooh.
Yeah. Because you're like a unicorn, You know, it's rare.
There's not many of us, right?
There's not many. I think that'll
So
change. That'll change. But
I think
enjoy it
so too.
now. Enjoy it.
Yeah,
Enjoy being the unicorn now.
clippity clop, clippity clop, clippity clop. So the best thing to me is a super selfish thing.
Okay.
I feel like this is maybe either is echoed or should be or can be echoed
Yeah.
through several other women in the community as well. I feel like the women that are in crypto now are oftentimes very similar in terms of probably have a lot of like a little bit of male dominant energy. They're in touch with kind of like their alpha side.
It's the women that are
And
here now.
yes,
Okay.
yeah. And are probably some of the smartest, like maybe some of the weirdos. Like I'm just describing myself. So I'm weird. I love tech,
Yeah.
I feel like being and not necessarily just smart. There's something else. It's like we've got some kind of edge, like there's something about women that are in not just crypto, but in
Mhm.
that we're, I think, just like above and beyond, just like the masses of like thinking what a woman should do or be or spend their time learning about. Right. And I've always
Okay.
been the kind of person to like want to be kind of like on the fringe of society and know like, what else is out there and, what new technology is coming up and what's next.
Right. Okay.
So sorry, it's long answer to the question is the other women. That's
Yeah.
the best thing, is that as a woman myself, I have not had as many close female relationships
Yeah.
as I have made in the last 2 to 3 years.
Oh, cool.
Like
cool.
I've always been a tomboy, hanging out with my boyfriend's friends, or whoever I'm dating, like just being kind of like one of the guys, right?
So what you
And
love about being a woman in crypto is the other women in crypto.
yes.
Okay,
Yes.
you just became the fantasy girl for like every guy right now listening. Chat, calm down. She's not meaning it in the way you think she is. Okay, just listen to the detail. She does too. Okay, maybe she does. Yeah.
I'm also open about that as well. But anyways,
Oh, we
that's
killed it.
another day.
Chat's gonna lose it.
That's all right.
Give more
Lose
fuel to
it,
their
chat.
fire.
Lose it. Bring it. So yeah, I have great relationships with smart, brilliant. I mean, one woman I got to call out on, who's like way up on that list is freaking Whitney Magic, man. I got to hang out with her in Austin just recently.
Yeah.
And she's got her own course. It's called the Queens of Millions.
Okay.
And she's onboarding women into Pulse Chain on the daily.
Cool.
And her energy and just being able to be around like another like smart, bright, independent, enthusiastic and positive woman, I was just like, yes, like this is more of that feminine energy that I needed in my life. I know you kind of touched on it earlier, like having my mom that raised me there to like instill that confidence in this, that. I'll be honest with you, I love my mom that raised me, but she did not do much in the way of that. Like it really, like who you see today is largely due to having these little glimpses of brilliant, feminine, queen type energy through friends. And many of them, like I said, that I've met over the last couple of years that just are inspiring to me, right? Like women who are out there building their own companies, doing their own things and bringing more people into crypto, through whatever means that they have and the ways that they're doing it versus, just like, I don't know, like just other like mathematical ways, right? Like with many women, like there's more of that like human touch, right? Like because women want to know that they have some kind of, I think for many women, the narrative of crypto as a 401k, crypto as a savings account, crypto as something, with HEX, right? You can stake HEX for, as far, like let's say like you've got, a few kids, we'll make stakes for them every year on their birthday for the next few years. like and that's a huge narrative. And in addition, like another woman that I can't stop talking about is KC. Kaylin, my coworker. She has been she is such a like a pinnacle, like she's such a solid person in terms of
Yeah.
getting shit done, and she's been the glue that's held this entire tour together
Yeah.
and has really made everything kind of come to fruition. And I love hearing her talk about HEX and crypto and why she's into it and what she sees for the future of it, because she's got several
Yeah.
children, right? She's got her family, and coming from a motherly perspective, which I don't have, it's just like I get to hear her utilize how she utilizes HEX as a tool to keep her family secure, and like knowing that like for her, one of her daughter's 16th birthday, she had this stake come out and was able to like do a trip and do a thing because of this,
Wow.
the end of that stake HEX
That's great.
stake. Yeah. So just being surrounded by these women, it's been great. The worst thing, what's the worst thing, man? If I'm gonna get real with y'all, the worst thing is, and I don't know that this is necessarily a crypto thing, but maybe it is because there's so few of us, and that means that the attention is on us, right? Like, so
Yeah, because you stand out. You're rare, so yeah, you're noticed more, of course.
so the hardest thing to me, or the worst thing about that, is having been in situations where someone, and this has been mostly physical situations, right? Because I put myself out there. I'm on tour, like I'm constantly
You're on
going out and
tour.
meeting people. And
Right.
that's who I am. I'm an extroverted person. Like those things
Yeah.
bring me joy.
Yeah.
But to know that, as an example, someone at one of the events, like this guy had to kind of like, this is all in hindsight, but looking back, basically what ended up happening is over the course of the evening, this person proceeded to like get intoxicated just so they could come talk to me.
Okay.
Like, they were that like, socially awkward or whatever, that like they had to basically get shit faced to like
Yeah.
work up the courage to come have a conversation with me.
Yeah.
And to me, that's the worst thing, is like I don't ever want to be like, like the reason that somebody, like, I'm normal, y'all, like just come, you can come chit chat, it's
Yeah.
fine. Like I may not be able to give you all my attention or any of it. Like
Yeah.
it just depends on where I'm at and what I'm doing, but that's nothing against you. And know that
Yeah.
I'm grateful, that you even think that you haven't like have the thought to think, oh, there's SJ, she's fantastic. Like, like just,
Yeah. I mean, you're normal to you, but you
yeah,
might be somebody's fantasy. You play video games,
crazy. It's so crazy.
Crypto.
Yeah.
I don't know what you were wearing this particular night either. Yeah.
Probably a cute
Okay,
dress.
so help us out. All us socially awkward guys. I'm extremely socially awkward. I would have been the first one. I just would have been like, okay, I'm going to say hi. I'm just like doing shots. What do I say? What does a guy? How does a guy approach you? Because it's going to happen.
I mean,
as we grow.
just come
How should they
introduce
approach
yourself.
Come introduce
Say
yourself.
hi.
Hey,
Shake my hand. I don't know.
just come shake your hand. That's it.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
do a dance, see if I'm
Dance for you?
attracted to your dance, right? We're going to take
Ooh,
it back to
okay.
the animal instinct.
All right. There you go. Guys, you better learn to
That's-
dance.
You don't dance. There's no, and also with me putting that out there, that's not an invitation for you to come dance with me, because I will probably say no. There is like a 0.01% of people on this planet that I will dance with. There's like one person. One or two people that I might consider, because I love dancing, and like I'll just dance by myself. In fact, at one point, through the chatting back and forth about svive, I told Richard that all I wanted to do was dance with him, like,
Okay.
and not necessarily with him. Like I don't want to do swing dance, ballroom dancing. Like he loves drum and bass, I love drum and bass. I just want to be at the same club, on the same dance floor, like while drum and bass is playing, watching Richard dance and I'm dancing. That's all. That's all I want.
So to approach SJ, you need to be able to do a dance. Your words.
Like
what?
You gotta really like love you some music.
You
don't
got to
know.
get
I
jiggy
got
with it. For how long? How long should they dance for when they approach you? Like, do you want them to like? How long we
What have
talk? How long
you
we
done?
talking about?
Oh my god! I'm
5 seconds, 5 minutes. What do you
imagining
want?
New York.
Uh-huh. What do you want? No,
I
you.
can probably tell within 30 seconds. So like, if you come up and do a 30-second dance and I'm not about it, then take a hike.
All right, you guys got 30 seconds. She doesn't want you to cook for her. You don't need to talk to her. You don't need to show your portfolio. Don't take your pants off. You just dance. 30 seconds, guys.
Yeah.
That's it. It's safety day. Yeah, bachata. Make her laugh, man. Whatever you got. You got to shake it. Dance 10 seconds. She didn't say 10, bro. She said 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
I can tell pretty quick, whether or not you actually have, you got that
Tails
groove.
trades can only last 10 seconds, apparently. I'd be done in 2 seconds. This guy goes long. If you can do a minute, you're like a champ, bro. 30 seconds is way too long. Oh, man.
Good times.
I can
Pulse conference in Portugal. Hi, Pulse conference in Portugal, friend. I can't tell from your username who you are, but good to see you.
There's a conference now. Good for that, man.
There was. We had a pulse chain. The tour stops.
What's a memory that keeps coming back to you?
Oh, that's a good question. Let me think. I really, really enjoyed being in Malta.
Beautiful.
Yeah, seeing the ocean there. I don't feel like I had ever seen water so turquoise and just pristine, and it was just glorious. I love the water. I just started learning how to swim.
Me too.
So I'm spending a lot of time at the beaches and things like that. And
I talked to RG, and we agreed that if Hexaco was to be established, the first place it would be Malta.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe.
I mean,
yeah.
It's already a crypto haven.
Already is, isn't it?
I think we could take over. It'd be great.
We could take over. Let's take it over. If you got paid $1 million to break a world record, which world record would you want to break? $1 million.
There's two different things that come to mind because it has to be something that I really loved doing.
Yeah.
One of them I could probably do without drugs, and one of them I might need some drugs.
Well, you know what kind of show this is. So you know the one we want to hear about.
Is this a family show?
No. I'm going to need another drink. Oh, boy.
I feel like it's too early here for that. I don't have any alcohol in here anyways. All right. So here's the funny thing is I'm actually going to say the one without drugs because it's actually a little more salacious. I would love to break the world record for longest kiss.
Really? What kind of kiss?
Thing. I can make out all day. Just make out.
So this is lip-to-lip contact, uninterrupted.
Oh, yeah. For like days. It's fine.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I love kissing.
So chat.
But obviously,
chat
it have to be someone I enjoy kissing. Like,
of course.
I'm just gonna kiss any Joe Schmo on the street.
Or someone who is good at it.
Or someone who's good at it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Be a good kisser. That's huge.
Yeah.
Like, start there.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people don't know how to kiss. It's underrated.
Nix. Get out of here.
I usually have to stop somebody in 5 seconds and be like, look, you're not doing it right. This is how you do it. You teach them. Chat, can somebody look it up? What is the longest kiss right now? I bet you someone's tried it. And then, you have to break that. And we'll give you $1 million.
Let's go.
Yeah.
The other one was dancing.
The other one was dancing?
Yeah. The longest time someone's danced for. But like I said, I feel like I need some drugs to stay awake for that.
Yeah, that one you might need. It's good the kissing you stay sober, because if you're not sober and you start kissing and 10 minutes goes by, it's going to lead to something else. And so it's better to stay sober, have somebody with the counter keeping you on track. You know. Okay, we're at 3 hours. Keep going. Gosh. Make sure your nose breathing. You know, your oxygen.
Yeah, man, I would love to get paid $1 million to just kiss forever. Sounds great.
58 hours and 35 minutes. Thank you. Believe on the Lord Jesus Christ. Believe in the Lord Jesus Christ. 58 hours is a long kiss, bro. That's 4.5 days uninterrupted. Whoa. What about like you got to go to the loo? Was it a male and female? Yeah, it was a male and female, right? You have to go to the loo. You kind of don't need food, but you need water. I guess, you know, because even if you've got spit, but someone's going to get dehydrated. Like,
right?
Yeah,
true.
You need hydration.
Interesting.
Okay, very interesting. Where's the water?
Yeah.
I guess maybe there's straws. Somebody shoves a straw in each person's mouth, and you get like breaks. Like, but you can't. You just have to keep your lips tight, right? You can't unlock the lips. Wow, amazing. Do you prefer pancakes or waffles?
Ooh, man. These are
Contestants
tough.
are permitted to consume liquids through a straw, but without parting lips. Fair enough. Yeah. Okay.
Pancakes or waffles? Yeah. Ugh. Why you gotta do this?
This one's easy.
I don't know.
You know what? It depends who made them, though, too. I mean,
it does, and like what the toppings are that are involved, and
it tells me your answer is going to tell me everything I need to know about you, too. So no pressure.
Is it? I feel like I've had more pancakes in my life, but because of
you're that type of girl? Oh. Okay.
I'm a pancaker. Yeah. Pancakes. Only my mom like.
Пожалуйста, подпишитесь.
Huh.
She would make them with the bananas in them.
Yeah.
And, you know, I feel like you can just kind of do more. I mean, you can do the same to either a pancake or a waffle. Chocolate chip pancakes, banana chocolate chip pancakes, pancake, put a little bit of peanut butter on that pancake.
Yeah.
It's great.
Let's go. You can bring pancakes in the bedroom. You can't bring waffles in the bedroom. Don't ask me how I know. Just don't ask me. This is not my interview. I don't know the answer.
Great. All right. So you're going to come on my channel and I'm going to get to interview you. And that's all I want to know.
That's all.
That's the first question.
You're too easy. You're too easy.
Maybe not. This has been a real in-depth, intensive interview. I like it. Thank you for getting to know your, local A-Wild SJ.
We're getting to know you because we just wanted to get to know you. Because, the crust waffles hurt. Oh, please. You're weak. I can do tricks with waffles. Okay, but they don't belong in the bedroom. We'll do waffles just have to stay in the kitchen. All right, we got to move on. Guys. What period in history had the best fashion? What period in history had the best fashion?
I mean, best is like such a... I'm gonna, I only know this because I recently looked it up because on the cruise, they have all these themed nights.
Yeah.
And they, it's like 60s night or 70s night or 90s night or whatever. Yeah. And I was looking through it all. And even though like I dressed like this when I was younger, because, every like 30 years or whatever, the trends kind of come back around. I'm going to say the 70s.
The 70s disco.
Yeah. I know I could have gone like way back into like medieval Renaissance shit, but like I feel like all that stuff back in the day, especially for women, like it was just so constricting and confining and whatever. And I was looking at these photos of women in the 70s, and I was just like, man, that generation, I feel
Yeah.
like that's when it started, like women just started being much more freer. Like they've got, you've got these like V-neck tops and the bell bottoms and like just kind of like being a little more out there.
Right.
So I really dig like 70s
Yeah.
fashion, to be honest with you.
I like 70s fashion. Do you think it'd be the same for men though? Like the girls look great in the 70s stuff.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Which era was best for men? Would you want to see when when this man approaches you at the next event and does his 30-second dance? What era do you want him dressed as? What do you want him wearing? Do you want him in like a knight? Do you want him in like Rambo looking? What do you want?
Knight armor. For men, I honestly like. I kind of dig now, like now's style, because I love hood. I love a man in a hoodie. I know that sounds really, but it's probably a Cali thing too. But like, just like the Beach Boys, like
the guy in the hoodie,
like wearing their hoodies and their shorts and their Vans and cute.
Okay, so you like skater boys?
Maybe.
Yeah, I got you.
That look.
I caught you.
I like that look.
Yeah.
That's been the thing since high school for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like no Speedos. Goth fashion's kind of cool too. I mean, I did goth myself a little bit back in the day.
Yeah, goth is good. No Speedos. Thank you. I wear Speedos. Speedos are a good way to go.
See, I'm fine with them. Go for it.
You like them?
I mean, they're like the standard everywhere except for the US, I feel like.
That's true. They're definitely common out here.
Yeah.
I mean, not common. Not like guys my age. Older guys, though, yeah, for sure. But you do see them. If you could be a film or book character, who would you want to be? Could be TV, too. TV, film, a book. Lots of dudes in hoodies and crypto. It's so true.
It's true. You got a chance.
You got a what?
I said you got a chance.
You got a chance.
But I also like a nice dress shirt, but not like too dressy. Like I don't want a dude that's gonna just like wear suits every day. Like dress shirt and like nice jeans. That's a hot look.
Dress shirt and a nice pair of jeans.
Yeah, like the dressy casual, something like that.
Yeah.
All right, back to the character.
Okay.
I'm just going to say the first one that comes to mind because I love this story, and sometimes I feel like this character already in life.
Mm-hmm.
There's a book that was turned into a movie. The book is by Neil Gaiman. It's called Stardust. Okay. And in the book and the movie, the main character, or like the heroine kind of the movie, is Yvain, and she's a star.
Okay.
She's played by Claire Danes in the movie. And I don't know, she reminds me of myself a little bit. Like, I feel like there's moments in my life where I just kind of like naturally glow because I'm so happy. Okay. And as a star, she's like a star that's personified, right? She comes down and she looks like a person, but she's a star. And so like there's these moments in the film where she's like radiating this glow, and I was just like, I feel that type of way. Yeah.
Cool. I'm not familiar with that movie, but that's cool.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's just a very cute fantasy fiction movie book. That one a lot.
Do you cry at movies?
Do I cry?
Yeah.
Oh, if there's something worth crying for sure. Yeah. I've cried. I don't watch a lot of movies, honestly, or TV at all these days. I definitely went through like a few years of doing a lot of that, and now I've never purchased a television for myself ever, and I don't have one in my bus right now.
That's probably good. It's probably good. It's gone downhill lately.
Hmm.
A lot of the older movies are better. Yeah. Did you have any pets when you were a kid?
I am a crazy cat lady.
Are you?
Oh yeah.
How many
I
cats do
was
you have?
born a crazy cat lady. I love all animals.
That's far out.
Yeah, but
Because
I
when I
definitely.
see you, I think cat, kitty.
Yeah. But I had a cat for a very long time. She actually
Yeah.
lived in this bus with me, and she passed almost a year ago. Almost exactly
Oh,
a year ago. It was like late
I think
October,
I
like
saw a
early
picture
November.
of that. I think I might have
Yeah,
seen that a while back.
she precious. Hold on. Oh, wait a minute. I'm gonna show off something real quick.
Okay.
Oh, so this is just my mom for Christmas last year. My mom framed a picture of her.
That's a cool looking cat. You got
That's
to
my
put a
dog.
quote on there. Like it's saying
Well,
something.
and then
It needs a
another
quote on there.
Hexagon who is also an artist. She goes
Yeah.
by Heather Lee.
Yeah.
And she's also in Austin. She painted this and sent it to me.
Oh, that's cool. That's trippy.
Yeah. The hex colors and everything.
Yeah.
That was princess. So I have a cat-sized hole in my heart right now.
Yeah.
But because I'm traveling so much and moving around and
It's
things,
tough.
I'm not quite ready to fill that cat-sized hole yet. But
Yeah.
there will be another cat.
Yeah. There will be.
So I had lots of cats. Yeah, to answer that question.
That's cool. That's cool. So where do you think we're headed now? Where do you think we're going now with crypto and everything? Are we heading to a continuation of the bull run, or we got to be interrupted here? Do you think about that stuff, or do you just stake and chill?
So I try not to. That's one of the reasons why I love Hex, right?
Yeah.
Because you can just stake and chill. However, my life, my work, everything that I do revolves around crypto. So it's, of course, I can't help but, be constantly listening and putting my ear to the pulse of what's happening. Pun totally intended.
Yeah.
So I want to say that what I can see happening next, or what, regardless of price action, right? Like, no, I really honestly don't believe anyone can predict that kind of stuff. I'm hopeful. I've never seen a bull run. So this will be technically my first bull run.
Wait,
or is technically my first.
I thought you got in 2017.
But like I said, I got in and then out.
Oh, then you
I
okay.
got in, put a few coins in a thing, and then
Mhm.
totally did not listen to any influencers, paid no attention to it at all. So I didn't even know there was a bull or bear cycle. Not even until after I got into Hex did I realize there was a cycle, or there were bull markets and bear markets.
Yeah.
So this will be my first bull run, and I think I'm still in disbelief because it's like, all right, cool. Like, I've been here almost 4 years now. Like, does number ever go up? Like, is this real? Like, is this really happening? Is it gonna stay? Right? Like, I don't, no one knows. I'm hopeful. I love that there are already people in our community who have retired and are able to stay retired and do what they love at the prices that Hex is at now. I'm hopeful that this cycle is going to bring, I mean, like, OG people that did it right and got in at the beginning are retired now, right?
Okay.
Like, that got in before big payday and things like that. Like, if they did it right and they pulled out enough and like knew how it was all going to work, or they have stakes.
But it's a very small amount of people, though.
I think it's more than you think, to be honest.
Okay.
I think there are a few. I think there's a handful of content creators, and handful of people that talk about it on X, maybe, and then Like, I think there's hundreds of people that are out there easily that were able to retire off of HEX. There's people that were streaming that aren't anymore that I know are living off their HEX gains. Because if you think about it, the price going from 4 or 5 zeros even to, like what it's been in the last like year and a half, like they're still in profit. They've still been in profit this entire time. Okay. So I'm hopeful. What I'm hoping to see and what I am envisioning and, like wanting to call into fruition here is that happens again for like the next cycle of us, right?
Okay.
That there's another few hundred or couple thousand people that are now able to become financially free because the price doesn't go back down, below whatever our entry point was. So that's what I'm hoping for. Here's the kicker, right? Here's, I think, what's really important and what we really need to start focusing on and looking into. Who out there is championing DeFi in the real world? Because we can be out here 2 steps ahead innovating in the DeFi space, while all of the people in government and, the regulatory are trying to play catch up, right? Yeah. Whether or not eventually they do catch up, they're still going to regulate. Whether or not they understand what they're regulating or we're 2 steps ahead of what they've regulated. So I think that it's going to start to be very imperative that we learn who it is, whose ear we need to have. Who do we need to start speaking to that are in positions within our government that are making the decisions that are going to affect us as holders and owners and users of cryptocurrency, right? So as a perfect example, many of you may or may not know, I work with RG. Aside from the tour, I'm his executive producer and assistant, basically. Like, I help set up his schedule, his calendar, all that kind of stuff. So one of the things that he's recently revisited is that he has connections to the treasurer of Nevada, also the treasurer of Utah. But he just spoke again, Zach Conine, the treasurer of Nevada. From what I understand, I wasn't around when this happened, but from what I understand, the last time he ran for election, there were a good number of Hexicans that contributed to his campaign and helped him get elected, and he is very crypto friendly. Really? So he's on our side, he understands DeFi, he wants to see us win. And he and RG just had a conversation yesterday, about continuing that relationship, about, continuing to keep each other informed, right, as to what's happening, and hopefully getting us into more spaces where the people who need to know what is really happening in DeFi and, what the people want to see happen in DeFi, like, we need to be in those rooms and have those conversations. So that's kind of where I'm looking to in the future. And what, the content of what RG's streams are going to start being more is people outside of our ecosystem that have either the influence or the mindset of, hey, like, we need to be looking at super PACs. We need to be looking at, who's running for what and how are they going to affect the laws that are going to affect us as holders.
RG, what do you mean easy over 100? What context was that?
I think he's talking about the number of HEX millionaires, or people that are retired off of HEX that.
Oh, okay. Easy over 100 of them. Okay, got you. Yeah. Yeah, I love Utah and Nevada. That's super cool. Thoughts on Hexfire?
Hexfire, like Crispy Man stuff.
What's that? The Crispy Man?
Yeah, isn't that all his?
Is he the gentleman who made Hexfire.io?
I think so.
Okay.
If not, he talks about it a lot. I'm pretty sure that's him. I feel really terrible if it's not.
And then Trump or Kamala? Who do you think?
Oh man. Fucking neither. Like, that's the best our country's got and to come up with. Like, I just can't.
Are we in trouble? Are we in trouble?
Like,
that is the best we got. That's who we got. That's your choices. That's Jack.
No, we are in trouble. The thing is, like, for a long time, I didn't vote like just because it's like I just feel like it's such a game, and I know that a lot of people hate that sentiment. Like everyone should vote. We have a voice, and it's important. But kind of to go along with what I was saying earlier, I feel like it's almost more important to vote locally. Like vote for your senators, because those are the people who ultimately, you know, like that's what it comes down to with the electoral vote and all that. Like, like you got to make sure that your representatives are actually representing you. So I think that that's going to be my journey, over this next year for sure, is like learning who can I vote for locally that's going to actually agree with and represent me when it comes to, the big vote. So that's my sheepish. I'm going to like back out of that answer. Is like, I honestly, I'm not checked off on either party. I don't agree with either one completely. So it's a tough one for me, right? Like I love that Trump's like super, let's go crypto, but there's a lot of things that I don't agree with in terms of his campaign and his group, and same thing with Kamala. Like there's stuff that I'm like, cool, that's awesome. I like to hear that. And then stuff that I'm just like, it's just the same. It's just the same old over and over.
What do you think about these hurricanes? You think they're real? You think they're manipulating them? You think they're man-made?
So I've heard about a lot of that, about the man-made stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if there are I don't know that it's 100% man-made. I don't have enough evidence or insight to know whether or not the manipulation can cause something that large, but I wouldn't put it past, I kind of toe the line, right? Like, I'm not against that theory. Like, I think that there's some truth to that. And I know that there's people have shared articles and things like that. I've been hearing about that kind of stuff for a long time. I was an organic farmer 10, 12 years ago, so the whole Monsanto and them spraying things and, the way those seeds, it's just, there is a lot of truth to it. So it's like, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know for sure. I couldn't tell you, but I'm not.
You have like a rational side, but you also have a very emotional, irrational side. You have like very strong duality.
I do.
Yeah.
The yin and the yang. Yin yang.
You do. Yeah. You're so rational about that.
Yeah. Because I like,
I'm like,
hearing all the options, right? Like I'm so
you want the evidence? You want the evidence?
Exactly.
You do? That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, for sure. And I here's the thing is like, I think a lot of evidence for maybe some of these theories, people just throw out. Whereas I'm more like, I'll look into that a little bit more and dig a little bit further to find out really the truth behind it, if I care that much. Yeah.
A lot of people are crazy right now. They're saying all kinds of stuff because there's wildfires right now too out west that's being lit. Hurricanes are being made.
Yeah.
But
the thing is I also feel like that happens every season. Every time there's a gigantic hurricane or there's all these fucking fires, then all of those theories come out and people talk about them again.
Yeah.
That's the thing is like, I feel like it's nothing new. It's like those, like either it's going to get proven eventually, which has happened with many conspiracy theories. Like it has come out to be like, oh, by the way, hey, that was real,
So you don't believe in aliens and visitations of beings from other dimensions then?
Oh, I do. No, 100%.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that you believe.
Yeah. Aliens are real. For sure. I've watched a lot of documentaries. I'm not a lot. I've watched my ancient aliens and things like that. So
because we got clear evidence of that.
I mean, I feel like the evidence that's been presented in a lot of those shows.
Yeah.
That's evidence.
Yeah.
So I'm open-minded and I'm willing to learn, I think that's part of the rationality. It's just like, I'm always like, I'm never, because unless we know for sure, I can't say yes or no.
Would you allow yourself to be abducted by the aliens? Would you go up in their ship? and become
Would I allow
open-bodied for
myself
them?
to be abducted? Would I have a choice?
You'd have to be
No,
open-bodied.
alien, do not.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Would
I
you
mean, I
let them-
probably wouldn't try to resist it if I was getting abducted. Like, I'd just be like,
Yeah.
all right, let's go. Show me
They
the
would just
way.
they would be curious about you. They'd, they're just curious, is what I hear.
Oh, how funny. Yeah, me too. I'm curious too. Let's find out about each other. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's see what they're like. They seem pretty kinky, from what I hear.
Robes and all.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they have a selection. They have more probes than Diddy. That was a bad. We got to move on. All right. What's up, Tam Tam? And then, yeah.
Hi, Tam Tam. What's up, homies?
Are you into the stablecoin? I'm a huge fan of anything that pumps and goes up. But there is one that I particularly like more than others. You know what I'm
The
talking about.
stablecoin?
We are talking about stablecoins, so keep your mind in the right place, please.
Well, wait, is this an actual stablecoin you're talking about, or is this something that people are hoping will be a stablecoin?
Chat. She's hoping I'm not talking about stablecoins right now. She wants to talk about something else. But chat knows exactly what stablecoin I'm talking about right now.
Oh, I want to know. I want to be in the know. I don't know what you're talking about.
I have to explain it to you in more deeper details, apparently.
Wait, hold on. Did chat say things? Did they say things yet? No? Yeah? What are you talking about? I mean, obviously this is not a Richard Hart ticker, right?
ゲームオーバ
I lost. Woof woof.
We're talking about pDAI, the pDAI narrative.
You are talking about, see, I knew it.
Yeah.
ーゲームオーバ
I'm all about it. pDAI to $1. Let's go.
Are you
Let's go.
cool? Yeah. So I was curious, yeah.
Mostly
It's
because,
happened.
again, like Crypto Charla mentioned, I saw him mention this in the comment that dev gifted me a bunch of pDAI. So, like, I haven't. I think I sold a tiny little bit.
Again, a dev
haven't-
gifted you a bunch of pDAI. Is that what you just said? You lucky
In my public wallet.
unicorn.
Yeah.
We're jealous.
That's true. That's
Great.
true. It's I had a conversation or two with that dev, thanking them, and asking why, and they were just like, hey, like, I love what you did with svive, and it's cool to see someone out there,
That's
like,
cool.
actually out in the world doing this pulse chain tour thing. So, it's just one of those philanthropic people that just happens to have seen what I'm doing and appreciate it so much that they were willing to gift a few coins to me. So
Awesome.
yeah, I'm holding on to it. It's interesting. I have learned so much about Richard's stance on DAI and pDAI because of this.
Okay.
Right? Like, I probably wouldn't have looked into it or paid much attention to it, but now that I'm a holder, I'm like, okay, well, I like this narrative. It sounds cool. Let me learn more about it. And I'm just
What do you
I
know?
don't-
You're holding
here's the
out.
thing.
What do you
Here's what
know?
what I do know is that we should have no expectations from the work of others.
Oh,
I also know that narrative is so strong, I really doubt it'll fail. Like,
okay.
but I also know that there's people like me who aren't as benevolent as me that have big bags and will dump. Because I've heard RG talk about this too, and
Really?
I listen. Listen when your elders speak, right? So
Don't let him hear you.
That's
Call him an elder.
the main huh?
Don't let him call you an elder. I don't want to start a fight here.
No, but that's I like his point, and I think that's a very valid point, is all the Jeets. Like, how is it going to stay $1, when there's so many people that are such big bag holders and they're just going to continue to dump it? Like,
Oh mon Dieu.
But the question is,
tell me.
is it just happening, or is there somebody behind it? A birthday boy?
Right.
What do you have an opinion
Right.
on? Do you have? Or,
I don't think he is,
no,
to be honest with you.
you don't think he was messing with the MakerDAO and tested the wallet and going to collateralize
I
it?
don't study, like, I've heard that argument and I've heard people talk about that. I don't know chain analysis enough to tell you myself that is actually what's going on. There are clues, right? That's a thing.
There's some clues.
It would be
awesome. They're clues. Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be awesome if that ends up being the case,
Right.
But it's like, for me, I'm not going to put all my eggs in any basket, right? Like, right. I still feel like HEX is the safer bet, and what I'm going to continue to talk more about. And again, part of that too is because I just had such a bad experience, because it was my own fault because of shilling something as it was going to the top, that's why I don't talk. I try really hard not to talk about other coins, because I'm just like, I know HEX is great. Richard made Pulse Chain. Yay.
Go back 1 second. You shilled a coin at the top. Is that what you said?
I did. I think I was talking about that while you left.
What did you shill? Can you tell me? GIF? Oh, GIF for tech? Yeah. Oh, okay. A lot of people.
I love it. I love the team. I love the tech. I think it's brilliant. In fact, what they've done with Pulsar is brilliant. I haven't been following it as closely, but the fact that they're bridging economic energy from ETH to Pulse Chain, from what I understand, using Pulsar, like, cool. Like, if you don't want to bring your money over ETH, we're gonna take it. So I like all that. I like that narrative, and it's interesting what the mechanics, right, of the token do. But I learned my lesson. I shilled that as it was like, it had done like a stupid amount of X's, and it's that euphoria takes over, right? Like, you just have this moment of just like, oh my God, like, this thing did so many X's in my bag. Like, I want other people to be able to experience this, because it's just going to keep going up. And that's when you sell, ladies and gentlemen. That's when you sell.
There's a lesson here. There's a lesson.
Nani?
There's a lesson. Yeah, you guys heard that, right? That's pretty much the key to crypto. That was dropped right there.
Yeah.
SJ is dropping wisdom right now.
I learned it myself the hard way. Because instead of shilling it, I said I should have sold. I should have just sold some of it.
You could have shilled people to sell it, I suppose. Yeah. Guys, if you're holding this, sell.
Well, not now. It's probably not the best idea.
I haven't checked the chart. I was watching it for a second. I streamed with Coffee right around the time that was getting a lot of hype, and he was getting really curious about it too at the time. But it had already been pumping a lot, and you get too many green candles, things do go up and they come down. So
True.
That's kind of the game.
True. Yeah.
So, chat, how are you guys doing? Do you have any questions for SJ? We've punished her brutally tonight. All right. We've had her on the verge of tears. She's laughed uncontrollably, cried. She's had a range of emotions.
Accurate.
I know you guys have a pressing question or two for her. Time to buy now. Oh, here we are. Archie, conspiracy coins. Yeah. Well, I had to ask her. All right. I've asked her I haven't asked her everything else. I can tell there's something she wanted me to ask her, and I didn't ask her. But I had to ask her that one, RG. The elders are allowed to have an opinion too. Tell me your dental care secrets. Tell us your dental care secrets. Come on.
Someone else told me recently that I had great teeth. It's like, oh, thank you.
I don't think it's just their teeth they're looking at, but these guys, I know. I know what these guys are thinking. You guys don't fool me. I know what you guys are thinking. Well, what is your regimen? Do you have tell us your regimen? Is it something special?
Oh, I floss and brush daily. I also don't eat a lot of packaged or processed junk. Like most of what I eat is whole foods, like
Whole
apples.
foods,
Yeah.
like a whole chicken, a whole
Potatoes, a whole
cow.
chicken. Yeah, whole
Yeah.
cow all at once. It's perfect.
Are you a carnivore, or are you very like just nuts and berries and apples?
No, I've been a vegan. I was a vegan
Yeah.
once,
Yeah.
for like a year. I was a vegetarian for a very long time, but now I eat all the things. I do. Venison is my favorite meat. Nom
I
nom
like
nom. You a
venison.
hunter?
Yeah, yeah,
You gonna go
venison is
catch
great.
deer?
Huh?
I said, are you a hunter? Are you gonna go catch some deer? I got an address for you to ship me some venison.
Yeah, if I catch them, I'll send you some. I have a bit of a hunter's vein. Yeah, I'm a born
I like
hunter. Fast Abdul says it's all about the teeth. I'm like, buddy, look. Look. I'm thinking of that Peter Gabriel song, In Your Eyes. Pretty dark eyes.
just for you.
She likes to get very close.
I do. It feels like you're right there with me, doesn't it? Hello.
It does. It does.
Oh, what a treat. You're wonderful. Hey, shout out to you for starting to do content and putting yourself out there. It's not always the easiest thing to do. And your setup looks great. Your mic,
Oh, thank
your
you.
camera, killing it. I dig it.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. It is something else. This community is a very special place. Very fascinating place to be. Yeah. Very interesting.
Yes. Yes, it
But
is.
I really do like Paul Shane though. I didn't really have particular interest of, infiltrating a community, or even if I knew if I'd meet people, or I just was like, this is some cool stuff happening over here. And I really believe, talking about the future, that that a lot of eyes are going to set on Paul Shane soon. I think things are going to line up in a really interesting way. Not just because of green candles, but I just think out of necessity. I think the powers that be probably have some not good things planned for general crypto, and I think being independent, DeFi, far away from all that stuff, though scary now, is going to be a really good place to be soon.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And it's exciting that we are at the precipice of it all, really. I think so many people forget that, especially people that have been in crypto for multiple cycles at this point,
Yeah.
because it just kind of feels like this. It may feel, right, like it's just this ongoing battle to bring crypto really out from this idea of it being for criminals or just for the dark web, or because people still believe that and people still think that. I do think that there is a wave coming, maybe this new generation, or maybe there's more people waking up to the possibilities of what crypto can be used for, how we can actually utilize it, and
Yeah.
bring it to fruition with it having use cases, right? So, and again, like that's another reason why I bring up just getting to know local governance and understanding who's making these laws and where this is all coming from. Because if we don't do it, especially us, especially our community, because when it comes to crypto and the heart of crypto and what true DeFi is and what this is all supposed to mean and be for us, I think we know more than any other community out there what really crypto is for and how we want to see the world changed through
Yeah.
DeFi.
Yeah.
So that's going to be part of my, my mission this next year, is just learning the ins and outs of, who is it we need to speak to and how is it that we can really move forward. Because I tell you, people, like, now that big money is continually coming into crypto, there are going to be more and more people out there who don't know what they're doing, who have a shit ton of money and want to bring people want to bring more money into crypto for themselves for greedy purposes. And if we have, if there's any kind of like fighting chance that Hex and DeFi has, it's with us. So I think that's our next level up, right? Is just really figuring out where we need to move within the real world to ensure that DeFi can stand strong.
Yeah, right on. 100% agree with you. Would you rule the world if you could? And what would you change? You wouldn't want to rule the world?
I wouldn't want to rule the world, but I will gladly champion or right hand queen the ruler of the world, because that's what I'm best at. I'm really, really great at being a cheerleader and uplifting and giving that confidence to the people. I mean, that's part of why I've done what I've done with svive and why I'm so adamant about promoting Richard who he is. Right. I'd like to see Richard rule the world, or someone like him.
Richard rule the world.
Yeah. Maybe not exactly. I mean, Richard's great, but
even in a Prada tracksuit, or would you give him
in a Prada tracksuit?
Would you
run it?
What? Ideally, what would you like to see? What era of fashion would you like to see the Heartman dressed as? If you could dress him and choose his wardrobe, and you were his design, what would you put him in? What do you think he should wear?
Whatever he feels great in.
I don't think we should let him choose.
Comfortable and feels fantastic.
I think he needs a wardrobe assistant. What would you put him in? I think he needs help in that department. I think a lot of guys do.
Not gonna lie. I mean, like, I wasn't around for Top Hat Richard, so I kind of like want that to make a comeback. Yeah.
What should we put him in? What era? And what should we?
What era? I don't know. Something sleek, but like colorful with a top hat. I'm sure there's some outfit I can find that I'd be like this. Like, let's do this, Richard, all the time. Stick him in a top hat.
And it's out there.
Yeah.
How do you unwind?
Walking.
You do a lot of stuff. You're a busy person. I see that. How do you unwind? How do you relax?
Usually to take a walk. Taking a walk or going to the ocean.
You go to the ocean?
Those two things.
Or walk.
Yeah. I like long walks.
Long walks on the beach. Long walks on new
beaches?
I
really do.
Regular beaches. What kind of beaches?
Oh, both for sure.
Both.
Like, if I could live in a nudist colony on the beach, I'd probably do it.
Cool.
I love being naked. It's great.
Yeah. Cool. Chat. They're losing it right now. They're losing it. There's right now. There's guys prepping 30-second dances right now. Yeah.
You got to shoot your shot. Good luck.
Good luck. Cool.
I can't even imagine what New York's going to be like. That's the next time I'm going to be out in the wild.
For October 31st. Is that what you mean for the court case? Okay, so let's cover that really quick before we wrap up. I think that's really important. So I talked to RJ. Yeah, they moved it to Halloween, which is really interesting. So are you going to dress up, or are you guys just going to go and no? You're not going to dress up, right? Or what's the plan?
No, I mean, so for the hearing itself, everyone should be dressed to the nines. Like, come wearing and looking your best, as if you were going for a very important job interview, or, don't come in your ripped up jeans and your ratty Hex t-shirt that you've been wearing for the last 3 years. Like,
okay.
We want people to be looking like they belong in a courtroom. Act as if you're the defendant, right? Because we all are technically in a way.
Yeah.
So we should be coming and representing ourselves as best as we can. I actually don't know what I'm going to wear yet. I think I do. I have a black dress that's just like chill and like nice looking. Yeah, now I know. I was like, oh, I was like going through my wardrobe in my head. I know what I'm going to wear.
When a female says chill on the black dress, that means it's not short or it's not revealing. Is that what? Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like not a go out and party dress. It's
You don't
like
want to distract the judge.
Exactly. That's right.
Exactly. All right.
No distractions. So yeah, so I'm gonna wear a nice simple black dress. Come in a suit, come in a tie, come in a bow tie. Why not?
How many people are
Maybe
going?
not a
Do you
bow.
guys have any idea who's coming? Like the amount
So
of people?
we have close to 200 RSVPs.
You have 200
Now,
RSVPs?
mhm. And that's been people that have RSVP'd over the last like 8 months, I think is when we announced we were even going to do anything.
Right.
So maybe less,
That's a
maybe
big
a little
crowd.
less. Yeah.
I mean, even if half show up, that's still 100 people.
Exactly.
That's a crowd.
And we have confirmed that people from over at least 9 different countries outside of the US will be represented in our company.
Really? So people are flying in from all kind of places, huh?
Yes.
That is far out. We're gonna need
And that's great. That's exactly what the lawyers asked for and wanted, and that's what the world needs to see. Now, if any of you watching or anyone knows anyone that does news coverage or writes articles or like anyone that's connected to anyone that will do something in New York, like please reach out to myself, you know, or KC Black Hexagon, reach out to one of us to see if we can get in contact with them. Or Nuclear Herbs also. He's also been kind of in contact with Richard's team. And, we're all just really working as hard as we can to show as many people as we can how important this case is to us and to crypto.
Yeah.
So big deal.
It's a big deal.
Yeah. Again,
it's a really big deal.
chaintor.com for all the info on that. I mean, there's 2 different pages. There's one for just the court hearing where you can RSVP to say that, hey, yes, I'm going to show up to the court hearing. And then the next day we're holding a seminar. Crypto Coffee, Access Alive, Lindsay from Vibra Finance, Nuclear Herbs, RG3, and a couple other people are our speakers that day. So there'll be that VIP dinner afterwards, which is going to be fantastic because it's in New York. I think there's only a couple of VIP tickets left. So if you're coming, you want to hang out and go to dinner and, you know, like go to this seminar and learn as much as you can. I still have to kind of, what are words? Solidify this. And a lot of it is going to kind of come down to the wire in terms of whether or not this is going to happen. We had been in talks with one of Richard's lawyers to have him come and speak at that seminar as well.
Okay.
So that is still up in the air. A lot of that has to do with like the turnout, how many people do come, how many people, like, so it may end up being like a very last minute, like that the day of the hearing, you know, that they're like, okay, yes, we'll come to your seminar tomorrow. So there is a chance that one of the lawyers from Richard's team will come and talk to us about, you know, the implications of this case, how they've been feeling about it, and you know, what they see in terms of their legal stance for how this is going to affect our community and crypto moving forward.
Got you. Far out.
Yeah.
I wish you guys the best of luck with that. That is amazing. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think that'll be the last thing? And what do you think? Do you think they'll drop it, fine him? What do you think? Any ideas?
So there was a stream I did. The last stream I did was with Cabana and Marco the Hexagon and Kate. A couple other people were there. But Marco, who is the person that was at the first hearing in New York and was the one who got to speak to Richard's lawyers.
Right.
The way that he described the interactions between the SEC lawyers and Richard's lawyers in that first hearing, they don't even have a case. They're timid and they're scared because they know that they're not going to win. Richard's lawyers are confident. They know that they've got this in the bag. At least, you know, this is kind of I'm summarizing this, you know, but the gist of it is that, and you know, this has been the feeling that I've had the entire time, is that Richard's already won. He's already won. And like, all we have to do is wait. We just have to be patient, because it's not going to, there's not going to be a verdict or anything happening that day. right? Like the hearing is going to happen. Both sides are going to do what they need to do. And then we're going to have to wait. Who knows how long from that point. I think Nuclear Herbs will probably have some good insight as to how that process is going to work, what the next steps are going to be. But yeah, I mean, when it comes down to it, like, especially having watched recently the I don't even know what it was called, but it was Gary Gensler basically kind of like a bunch of people went up against him, like all of these different people from different forms of government asking, why did the
Yeah.
SEC do this? And why,
Right.
like just really coming at him and grilling him at, the decisions that he's made and the things that he's done with the SEC. I mean, hearing that just made me way more bullish on the fact that like that they have no case. This is already in the bag. We have already won. And all we're going to do for the next freaking 6 to 8 months is celebrate. Like, I really feel that price is going to go up or down, but I think that we're going to just have this feeling of community and, not just community, but like our values, right? Like why we're here in the first place, like what we want to see crypto do. I think we're going to get a little taste of victory with that and just get to celebrate for a while. Yeah.
Awesome.
Can I make fireworks happen?
Le silence est un luxe rare.
It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing.
It is. It really is. And I'm so glad to be here and be a part of it. I feel like we are making history.
Yeah, 100%. I think the community is really lucky to have you. I think you're an incredible person. Really enjoyed talking to you and getting to know you. I feel like anytime I tune in and watch you, what you're doing, you're always lit up and shining from within. It's awesome. It's cool. Yeah. You got a highlighted path in front of you. So.
Thanks. I feel that. I do. Yeah. Especially now. This is like, it feels like I've waited a lot of my life to be where I'm at right now and to be surrounded by this kind of a community and to be able to just kind of be myself and promote something I love and help other people. That's really like a huge chunk of what I've wanted in life. And I get to do that and be appreciated in this community. What? Like, okay, sign me up. Like, I'm so happy to be here. I'm glad that this is where I ended up. And,
it's beautiful.
Just like
it's beautiful.
I'm staked for 5555. Let's go.
We feel it. We feel it. And thanks so much for sharing all that with us. Yeah. You have anything you want to close with? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, I do. So the last thing, and this kind of came about after the last 2 years of touring all over the world. So we decided to kind of pivot, and instead of going to a lot of little locations, from now on, 2025 and forward, we're going to focus on one, maybe two big events. Okay. Pulse 369 conference is coming at you. March 6th through the 9th of 2025. We're going to be in Las Vegas, and it's already gearing up to be the biggest and baddest event of our history for our group. So again, pulsechaintour.com. You can do pulsechaintour.com/conference. That'll take you right to that page. And for the next 20 something days, you have until the end of the month. You can use the code RG3 and you will get 20% off of any ticket of your choice. And the code will continue to be useful for another few months, months. But the amount will go down. So you already missed 36.9% off. So now we're at 20% off, and then it's just going to kind of keep going down from there. But that's going to be huge. And I can't wait to celebrate with you. I feel like that's going to be kind of like a peak epic, like really big celebration. So I'm hopeful to see you there with your dance moves.
You guys heard it. Get your dance moves ready.
Single.
Huh?
I said if I'm still single. We'll see.
Oh, that's true. She might not be on the market anymore. So you guys get them ready. You guys are going to come to Europe at some point too, right?
We did. We just spent the last year in Europe.
Look, I'm new around here. Give me a break.
Yeah, it's all right. We went home, man. We were in Greece. Portugal,
Grace. I know. Yeah, I missed you
Amsterdam.
guys. I missed you guys.
We did.
Yeah.
Shout out birthday twin. I see you, Joseph. Woohoo. My birthday's coming up.
Your birthday's coming up? When's
Yeah,
your
so is
birthday?
Joseph's. We have the same birthday.
Oh, November 28th?
Yes.
Wait, your birthday's on Thanksgiving?
This year, yes. Yeah, every
You're-
10 years, my birthday's
You're a
on
turkey
Thanksgiving.
baby?
I'm a turkey baby.
You're what's for dinner? All right. Pancakes and turkey. I like it.
Oh, Lord.
Awesome. Well, chat, listen up. You guys go. I got links down below for Pulse Chain Tour. Follow SJ. Definitely follow me. I think we'll definitely talk again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
talking. I'm good at it.
Yeah.
Yay. Happy birthday again, Richard.
Happy birthday, Richard
Happy
Hart.
birthday.
And chat, thanks a lot for hanging out with us. Happy birthday to you guys too. Can't wait to talk to you again. It's gonna be mad fun.
Yay.
And
Good stuff.
good luck to you guys in a few weeks. Yeah. Yeah, just a few weeks away. Wait, are you driving the bus there? Are you flying? Okay.
No,
You're
I'll
just
be
gonna fly up
fine.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this bus is not. I mean, I can drive it a couple places close, but yeah, it's not the most reliable of vehicles right now.
All right.
So, yeah.
Great stream, guys.
So-
Thanks, Joseph. Yeah, it was a great stream. Yeah, I really enjoyed talking to you. Let's do it
Right
again
back at you.
sometime.
This was lovely. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like everyone knows everything about me now.
Everything. No, we didn't even get to the good questions. We didn't even get to the good ones.
Oh shit!
Yeah. We kind of ended on waffles and pancakes, and all fell apart there. So
I'm so sorry.
You probably don't want to see the other questions I had.
Oh,
I know
no.
chat wants to see them, but maybe it's good you didn't get to the other questions. Maybe it's good.
Oh snap!
I mean, yeah.
Probably. You know, got to be a little mysterious, right?
Yeah. Keep a little mystery. Okay. Awesome. Well, until we talk again.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
Wild Esche.
Appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Thanks again.
Until next time.
Bye.
Good night.